I think we should be live right now. So I'm gonna start with the intros. I'm gonna do it in Spanish. So, buenas noches, Puerto Rico. Son las 9 de esta hermosa noche de Navidades puertorriqueña. Esto es Probando Fuerza Live con su anfitrión Manolo Sánchez. Let me do something. I'm just hearing something double. We should be live right now. Okay, now we're here. Okay. Manolo Sánchez, su anfitrión de Probando Fuerza, la cara de Pulso en Puerto Rico y otros dicen que Latinoamérica. Ahora vamos a cambiar de idioma. So, tonight we have a great show with great friends. Tonight we have Troy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your last name right. How do you pronounce it?
But it's Taub. Taub.
Taub.
Yes, sir.
Troy Taub from the 98% family in New York, the East Coast area. And we got our good friend, half Puerto Rican, half awesomeness and powerful lightweight, Dan the Nightmare Schwartz. How you doing, guys?
Doing great, Manolo. How are you, brother?
Well, we're just doing our thing for the people of Puerto Rico and Latin America and everybody who is watching us and likes arm wrestling. How you doing, Dan?
Doing well. I'm happy to be here, man. Thank you for having me back.
Hey, Dan, I just want to say it's a pleasure to be on here with you as well. We've never really spoke before tonight on this first time in this podcast, but I'm a big fan of yours, and I'm just glad to be here with you guys.
Likewise, man.
Well, I'm happy that we are sharing this moment. We have bonded over experiences and the time that we've talked and shared our knowledge in the sport. And I would like to start by thanking Troy for helping me out getting the footage that I wanted from the Florida Arm Wrestling League tournament. Troy is a great, helpful friend, and he told me that he would help me, and he didn't even thought it twice. He just did it, and I'm very, very, very grateful that you helped me getting those matches of Noel and his brother at the Arm Wrestling Florida League tournament. And you did really well. You did really well. You competed in the 155 class, and you won the left arm amateur championship. Am I right?
Yes, that's correct. So I usually walk around at around 160, and I made weight 155. I'm a new puller. I pull out of Paul Lynn's camp, Lethal Arms, that's located in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So I just decided to take the trip down to Florida and compete in the tournament. I had never even competed before, except for one local tournament that was only 4 weeks before that. I've only been pulling for about 4 months. So I hadn't even done any ready goes before the first time I pulled in my tournament, which I got third place in the first one, novice. And that was an open weight class. It was called Fall Brawl in PA. So I was very happy with that. And that kind of gave me the motivation to try to do more. I'm a big fan of Artem Taranenko and Chance Shaw and the Florida Arm Wrestling League. And, I've always kind of looked up to those guys on YouTube and everything. So the opportunity arose where I could go down there and compete in the tournament, and I jumped at it. And, it was a strong class. It wasn't a large class, but there were some strong guys there. The guy I pulled in the finals, Jared Larino, son of a local pro, very strong. So I was lucky to win. I actually had to get 2 in a row to beat him. He was kind of a shorter arm guy with more powerful bicep. And I was, being a 6 foot 155 guy, just had a long enough lever where I could get the top roll on him and get it done. So it was overall a great experience just meeting all those guys. You're talking about not only Chance and Artem and Brandon Lee, but guys like Herman Stevens and Brad Grundy and all the local guys in there just that I've seen on YouTube before pulling. So I'm very grateful for the experience to do that. And Artem got me an East First West shirt, and it's just kind of like it's been blowing up from there, and it's just such a wonderful community, and it was such a great experience down there in Florida, and to be able to see Noel perform in the super match against John Tyrion. Unfortunately, John was too much for him on the right arm, but his left arm, I'm pretty sure, Noel dominated. I think he went 3-0 on him, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they went 3-0, 3-0 on each arm, 1-1.
So, I'm a lefty guy, so hey, that's more important to me than others. But and his brother competed in the tournament. I think he was it's pronounced Sadiel, right? Sadiel, right?
Yeah, Sadiel, yeah.
Sadiel, he did very well. I'm pretty sure he won in 176 pro, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, left hand.
Yeah, so again, another lefty. So, it was a good day for left-handed pullers, me being a left-handed guy myself. I know I don't look like much. I'm a lean, kind of wiry guy, but I heard a little bit there. I've got a pump on today. But
you got a lot of body to fill out. You're in a good position because you're 6 foot tall and you're 155. Like you can just grow into age category, and you could get to a super heavyweight because you're 6 foot tall. You're taller than me. You know what I'm saying? I'm
hard to fight genetics. Hard to fight genetics.
Yeah.
But hey, I'll try to pack on. The heaviest I ever was, which I was very heavy on a winter bulk about it last year, was around 200. Wow. And I feel like I got stronger, and I definitely, my gym numbers reflected that than what they are now. But I definitely was sitting around like 30+% body fat too. So I decided to try to do a cut, and because that's kind of, my mother is very tall and lean. So it's kind of like, instead of trying to fight my genetics and be a big guy and pull with those monsters, in the 198s and the 205s to 210s, try to be the long Tom Holland, long and lean type of guy, and just kind of go with my genetics, because I was at a decent strength to weight ratio. So I'm just trying to go with my strengths is all. But I don't know. I mean, Dan's a 176 puller. What do you think, Dan? You think I should beef up?
I mean, I slimmed down a little bit for this next we'll come up to that in a little bit, but it's wherever you're most comfortable, where you feel healthy. Actually, Steve Metal Dog Black, great puller here in New York. He's been doing it for 30 years. He knows everybody and everyone. He actually once said to me, once I hit my weight goals and I, made my weights and was doing so comfortably, he said, now's time to get better at arm wrestling. Forget about what weight you arm wrestle at. Get better at the weight you're at right now. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Dan. When arm wrestling is a sport that you don't get to play with your weight like you do in let's say powerlifting or boxing or MMA. You like, if you you gotta be good at whatever weight you're at, because if you gain weight, you're gonna be better. You're gonna keep getting stronger. It's not like you gotta cut weight to like a boxer or a powerlifter for meat. And you could be really strong like a powerlifter, like let's say John Hack. He has numbers of a 120 plus kg guy, and he's only I don't know, 100 kg, and he trains, then cuts down to 100 or 98 kg and competes with great number. In arm wrestling, we do weight cuts, but it's not like I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Like, you gotta be good in whatever weight you're at in order to get better at whatever weight you want to get.
Yeah, I understand. Like getting strong at the weight that you're at.
And it's not so much just getting strong; it's also becoming a better arm wrestler.
That tabletop competition.
Exactly. So when you learn the technique and then you dominate the class, then go ahead, by all means, climb on up. I mean, from what I know of Artem Tarantenko, that's what he does. Artem does that. He started as a much lighter guy, and then he dominated that class and worked his way up. Dominated the class, worked his way up. You know, and same with like Jamie Sheldon from NatFit. There's a whole bunch of pullers that actually do that. So, you know, it's whatever you ultimately want to do. You know, don't base your goals or your desires in the sport off of someone else's successes. You know, create your own.
True. But you know, there's recipes for success.
Well, exactly. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
You know, you can definitely leech off of other people's experiences and grow from that. You know, but use that. Create your own idea of what your success looks like, because that's how I think I became successful.
It's whenever I start teaching anyone to arm wrestle, I always tell them, I can only show you the door. You got to be the one to walk through it. Like I can tell you and teach you the arm wrestling 101, like the basics, but you're the one that got to develop your style and your flow. Like it's not written in stone. You got to develop yourself comfortably on the table on a way of arm wrestling that suits you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, not for nothing. While I might be on the climb and on the rise, my style is still developing as we speak. And how I'm getting better. And so ultimately,
Yeah.
you know,
How many years have you been on wrestling, Dan?
since September of 2020, so a little over 2 years.
Little over 2 years. And Troy, you've been like same time or less?
No, I've only been pulling like 4 months. Again,
Okay.
I've only had a couple table practices, you know, under my belt before I pulled at my first tournament. So, you know, it was a couple months of just practicing, and then, you know, at the Lethal Arms practices, and then I went to that first tournament. So I'm very green. So as far as Dan was referring to is like, you know, still finding my lane, you know, like it's barely just evolving. You know, I kind of feel like I'm a, you know, outside guy, top roller. But, you know, as you said, it's, you know, always learning, always evolving, learning, you know, hand grips and stuff like that. There's so many avenues to my game that I need to develop. And as Dan was kind of saying, that really it probably only come with gripping up with guys. There's only so much I can do it, you know, on my table at home with resistance bands and fat grips and, you know, weighted calisthenics. You know, I'm sure that will increase your strength gains. But as Dan said, once you feel good at that weight, you know, getting the movement patterns and the technician aspect of it locked in, you know, would be next. But I kind of feel like I'm an outside guy. You know, anytime I kind of go inside, I don't know if it's newbie pains, but I get that sharp elbow pain and, you know, from side pressure. So I kind of stay away from that lane. But, you know, it depends on how I'm feeling. If, you know, depends on what part of my arm feels fresh I get at the time, you know. So I'll be gripping up with my buddy TJ Trout tomorrow. He's got a table at his house. I've told him I'm going to stop down, visit his family, and, you know, we'll do some pulling. So we're just going to actually do some light technical work instead of just saying we're going to do light technical work and then pulling redlining like normally I do. So I'm looking forward to gripping up with him.
Like everyone does.
Yeah. So I look forward to actually gripping up with him. He said, you know, there's different lanes he wants to try. And, you know, I just want to, you know, explore stuff like, you know, different back pressure and pronation, and maybe, you know, since my right hand isn't as connected as my left, maybe I'll work that, you know, since my left kind of needs to rest.
Did you pull right at Florida, or you didn't pull right?
Yes. Yeah, I did pull right. I did not have great success. The first guy I pulled, I don't know if I didn't warm up enough because I didn't get any table time. And, you know, we kind of, after the first go, we kind of met at the table, and it was kind of just like there for a second. And then I tried to apply some side pressure, and I felt like a little click, like a little pop. And as soon as I felt that, you know, I just bailed and let go. And I was like, I don't know what that was, you know, and it kind of like didn't feel too great, but, you know, I walked backstage and, you know, I'm rubbing it down, you know, and I was feeling it. For sure. Luckily, it wasn't any sort of long-term injury. I think it was just kind of like settling something, a tendon or something resetting, you know, just kind of popped, you know, from the pressure. But you know, my second round, I was just feeling a little pain. I was just not feeling it. I'm not as connected on the right. I was concerned about the injury, and I went 0 for 2 on the right, unfortunately. But again, that's just a weak point in my game. I just have, I'm still at the point being so new, being only a few months in, that I'm still dealing with newbie pains and have to develop all that tendon strength and the calcification of the joints and stuff that comes with pulling.
That was what I was gonna tell you. Like, you gotta make, like, okay, it's okay that you're already doing tournaments and know this stuff and amateur tournaments. So it's okay, that's good. But you gotta prepare your body for what you're doing. You don't want to get hurt. And I'm like worried because this past two months we've had like 4 arm breaks in Puerto Rico.
Ooh.
And two of them I was reffing.
Oh,
and
boy. Were they in a
you
break
try
position?
and
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. Was it like a break on position, or was it just...
the last two, the one time Carlos Casanova broke his arm, he wasn't in a bad spot. Like, he was good. He was in a good spot. I would show you the video, but nobody wants to see that,
Yeah.
But he was good.
Not.
He wasn't in a breakout position. Yeah. He wasn't in a breakout position or anything. His body just to my opinion, his body wasn't ready to take that hit. Like the guy that he was arm wrestling, we went ready, go, and he held him, and then he hit right there. He just went, and that's why I'm telling you, like, prepare your body, go to the gym, train and strengthen your joints and your tendons, and be smart on the table.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's how I kind of got into it. I got into arm wrestling more after I started getting into fitness. So I was doing a lot of, weighted calisthenics and push-pull typical gym lifts before I ever started arm wrestling. So that was kind of like my basis, But ever since I started pulling, Dan, maybe you can have more insight into this as well. My gym routine has been severely sacrificed. I lost a lot of my gains.
Okay.
It was another reason why I decided to cut, because it's just like, I can't go to the gym 4 days a week anymore because my body and my joints can't do it. Every time I get to my push day, it's like I can't even get a chest pump because my elbow joints blow up far before my chest can. So it's like, I want to pull so badly and so often, but I know that my body can't do it. I wish Performing Enhancing Pancakes was here. Maybe he could give me a little bit of a secret recipe, and my recovery would be a little better,
I mean, when it comes to gym lifts, from my personal experience, and my word isn't gospel, I'll go through my personal experience as a massage therapist of 10 years. I've been in the wellness industry for quite some time. I've seen it all. I've helped recuperate other people. A lot of times, we just overwork ourselves. So, now, what's your goal? Is your goal to chase a lift, or is it to become the next greatest version of yourself at an arm wrestling table? You have to decide which one's which. You can't necessarily go for both. There are some people who can. They're the exception to that, to what I would call that, to that rule. But I think that the vast majority of people have to make the choice. They can't have their cake and eat it too when it comes to this. It's either to chase the lifts or use the lifts as complementary exercises to arm wrestling and pulling, or just go straight to arm wrestling, pulling, and forget about the lifts with that regard. Because, a friend of mine who was chasing a 500 bench, strong as all hell, his name's Shi, up here in New York. If he maintained arm wrestling, he probably would be a top 220 guy in the nation within a couple of years, easily. But he said it was hurting his lift, and he said, I really want to chase the lift, so I'm going to take a break from arm wrestling for a while. I don't know when I'll be back. So
yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. I kind of feel like I still have a long way to go in the avenue of strength gains and hypertrophy and muscle gains. Like, I was just really just kind of getting into that. So I feel like, I haven't reached my natural athletic peak, you know, that I still could benefit from an increase in, you know, a push-pull gym lifts to increase strength. But I just want to pull right now so bad that that's
where our ego comes into play, right? We all
you got to make a choice. You got to make a choice.
We want to get
like for me, I started
has been winning.
Like I started weightlifting when I was 13 years old, right? And I started arm wrestling when I was 16. But I always been a big guy. You know, like when I started lifting weights, I've always kind of developed like quickly and got big quick. And I remember my first competition of arm wrestling, I was like 190, and by the time I was national champion, I was 250. Now, I was an arm wrestler before I was a powerlifting champion, because I've been national powerlifting champion two times in Puerto Rico. So I was an arm wrestler, then I stopped arm wrestling, then I was a powerlifter, then I came back. You know, and my bench have, you know, it's like people say I'm strong, but I know I'm not that strong on bench because I got my shoulders and especially my elbows that limit me on that lift. But I still keep pushing, trying to do arm wrestling and powerlifting. Now, I've tore my pecs 4 times. 3 times has been arm wrestling. Right now, I got a small tear on the upper right pec, and it was from side pressure training, you know. and I get what you guys are saying, and it's the right way. Like, you got to make a decision, but I don't know if I'm too much of a musclehead. I cannot like separate one thing from the other. I want to do both things at the same time. Like I remember when Brandon Allen started arm wrestling, I remember I texted him and I said that it was hard to do powerlifting and arm wrestling at the same time, that one of them was going to suffer, that he wasn't going to, at some point he was going to make a decision. And I remember his wife told me that if anyone can do both things at the same time, it was Brandon.
I'm sure he can. Well, that dude is a beast. And I see a lot of other guys doing the same thing as well.
He ain't powerlifting. He's just arm wrestling and bicep curling, and it's great. But the point of what I say is that you got to make a decision, because like me, I'm hurting all over.
I see guys doing it. I see guys like in the gym, like Paul Lynn and Justin Bear, and they're posting, 400-pound benches. And then I see them, they're coming to table practice the next weekend. How, some guys, I feel like some guys can do it maybe because they've been in the game so long.
Well, that's the other piece to that. Like people like Justin, people like Paul Lynn, that's not necessarily a good example because, like for me, I only jumped back into fitness 2.5 years ago, right? Chasing that kind of number, even if I were to jump in, let's say 10 years from now.
Someone's coming in.
Uh-oh.
Let's see who it is. It's in connecting to audio. Oh. So, the man, the myth.
Hey, can you hear me, buddy?
Yes, we can hear you.
I am so sorry, man. Apparently, my IQ is even lower than we all thought. I thought it was in 2 hours. But, dude, I was like,
about this.
I know. Wait, I thought you, okay. I should have just looked up the time conversion table to get the time right. But I was like, oh, this is easy mental math. I can do this. But apparently I was off by like 4 hours. So that is my bad, dude. I'm so sorry, buddy.
No, don't worry about it. You're here. You're here.
Okay.
And let's just stop the discussion we were having. So whoever is watching us in the world, the man himself, the mystery man, performance enhancing Pancakes, the sexy boys of arm wrestling. I know there's challenges channels around the world calling themselves the voice of arm wrestling, but
There's only
they're
one
not.
voice.
Oh,
There's
man.
only one voice, and the man is here, and we're gonna call him Pap. We've always called him Pap.
Hey, thank you so
there?
much, buddy, for having me. I really appreciate it, man. I get better late than never, so it'll work.
Exactly.
It's great. It's great to having you, and we have agreed to preserve your identity a secret because you are too important to the sport.
Oh,
We
thank you,
gotta
man.
keep that identity a secret.
Well, hey, you've already revealed my identity. Remember, I'm Devin's kid, right? So everybody knows.
Dude, we agreed we were not gonna talk about
You're
that.
right. You're right. I shouldn't have. Oh, hold on.
Now you're making me think harder on that topic.
Yeah. Here, let me see if I can. Does my audio sound a little better now? I think it was kind of.
Oh, your audio
Sounds great.
We hear
Okay,
you
all
as
right.
we were watching
Beautiful.
your videos.
Bad audio really bugs me. So I try to blow my entire bank account on better audio. So, but yeah, the
Dude,
real reason I was late. Oh,
You're
sorry.
great. Like we hear you like great. Like we were watching your videos.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think this is the only time I've ever done a real live. So I'm honored that it's first with you, buddy. But I've been on like Jake's stream like once for 10 minutes or something. But
Ready?
yeah, dude.
But now, if Pep goes to another channel or whatever stream, let it be known that he was first on Pulseo TV for one night only.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's official. It's official.
It's
I'm
official.
in history books.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
Pancakes, I just wanted to say I'm personally a big fan of yours. I've seen your YouTube channel for a long time. You know, people have always told me I've had a voice made for radio, and I got to give it up to the man with the sexiest voice of all time. You should have your own ASMR channel called Pep Talk. You know,
Oh man.
I swear there's rumors going around that you are the QAnon shaman or anonymous. Can you
Yeah, dude. Hey, well, thank you so
No,
much,
you're great.
man.
I just want to say you're super knowledge. I love all your videos, your editing, your voiceover work, everything. It's just really great for the sport of arm wrestling. So thank you, Pancakes.
Man.
It does create a nice appeal.
Hey, thank you so much, dude. That actually really does mean a lot. So, like, I still consider myself above everything to be a big troll, but I also really do love the sport, and so I hope that I'm making a difference.
You
I
also
wanna
don't have
say
an account
this.
called Hermes Graspawini, do you?
I don't.
Okay, that's not. Yeah, all right. It's
I wish.
That's what Devin called the troll army.
Oh yeah. That's the
Yeah.
heart of the sport.
Yeah, that's the heart of the sport. But I want to say something seriously. In all seriousness, there's in a short time, arm wrestling has found like a winning formula to get the sport going and moving forward and keep growing and getting better and reaching more audiences.
Mhm.
Pep is part of that movement. I remember I met Pep on social media, and I believe he had like only. Did we met before you had the thousands of subscribers, Pep?
I think so. It was way back in the day. Yeah. So
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, and now Pep, it's exploding, and everybody likes him. And when I say everybody, I say everybody, like professional arm wrestlers, Paul Ling, Adam Wosinski, Engin Terzi, Dem Larratt, everybody watches Pep. You know,
man.
and that formula that it's moving the sport forward and making it better and growing, and that formula that's gonna get us into the Olympics. This man right here, Pep, it's part of that. I want to say that.
I'm gonna cry, buddy. Thank you, man.
We're gonna give this guy a big head.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna be. Yeah. I don't need that. Yeah. Well,
Hey, Pat, I saw a couple videos. Well, I'm sure, as you well know, that Devin was on Pulseo TV with Manolo the other night.
Mhm.
I saw a couple videos on your channel. What you brought up some interesting stuff that they had discussed in there. Now, Devin thinks that Dennis now is number 2 in the world And, I was kind of thinking about that. I mean, does he really think that, he's over guys like Vitaly and Dave and, Gennady and all these guys?
Yeah.
I mean, all I seen with Dennis on some practice pulls. And, Dennis is just like taking everything from these guys, because he's got this monster hand. So I kind of wanted to see what you thought about Devin's opinion on that.
Yeah, it's crazy. One thing that I have noticed about Dennis is I feel like over this time when he's been kind of hurt and had health issues, he's really evolved, and he really seems to be a lot more committed to that outside move. And so I've noticed, like, watching him back a few years ago pulling with like Vitaly or something, he's really trying to hold on and force everybody into a hook. And he used to be dad moving everyone too. And I think that I think there's a video where Devin and Dennis grip up just a little bit. And I think that he's felt that everything in Dennis's hand and his ability to roll out and back pressure is all still there, I think. So, and I think that he said in your live stream that he thinks Dennis is doing pumpkin training as well, right? So I think that over 6 rounds too, a King's move, I think, is probably just the most efficient move you can do, especially someone like Dennis. He's got all that, like his arm doesn't really straighten out. So in terms of efficiency, I just think his ability to win a 6-round super match against pretty much everyone is going to be really, really good. My only concern would be his ability to actually get the pin, because I think he can take everyone's wrist, but he'll probably lose his wrist as well. So, but honestly, I probably would favor him against Alex Kurdecha, against Vitaly, because I think they're both going to lose their wrist. And then it's probably Dennis from there. I'd love to see him versus like Hermes, because I think technically Hermes will be a lot better at climbing over Dennis, probably being able to climb over his King's move. So I might favor Hermes there. But overall, I really could see him be a number 2. And I think over the next maybe 3-6 months, it's just going to get even worse for everybody else, I think. But.
The thing is that what I worry about Dennis is that his health condition doesn't allow him to go all like really hard. And that's why he keeps calm, and he's like I was talking with Devin. He evolved from an aggressive inside puller, all endurance and all strength, to what he is now. And Dennis had to do the same thing because of the health issues he has.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask you, I couldn't tell exactly if Devin was saying that he thinks that Dennis just can't go super hard like on a given pull, or if he was talking more about pushing it really hard in terms of like pancakes and all that, or if he literally just can't try very hard.
I remember, I'm going to tell you this story. When Devin went to Russia and faced Siplenkov, when he came back, I remember I DM'd him and we started talking, and after he told me they are soldiers willing to die.
Yeah.
Those were his exact words. Then, like 3 days later, Dennis like fell into a hospital, got really sick, and whatever. We didn't really know what happened to him because I thought he had kidney issues. Right? That's what I thought. But what Devin said, and he told me not to quote him because he didn't have all the information. He said that Dennis had like stents on his veins, and if his blood pressure got too high, they might move, and that can cause a problem, like a heart attack or a clot or something. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, I worried that if he like goes all out, he might die right there.
Yeah, that could be fairly lethal.
That's that would be terrifying.
Too many pancakes.
Yeah.
So in a match with Wagner, Bortolano, and Dennis, who dies first?
Oh my God. Oh man, that's
pretty savage, Troy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I feel bad for Wagner. I love him, but like, oh man, I thought he was gonna pass out on his feet at that last East vs. West.
Yeah, Wagner might be my favorite arm wrestler.
Mine too.
Dude,
He's
I was.
Dude,
I love the way
he
up
cut
the
his
earthquake.
hair just so people won't stop calling him Jack Jesus.
Yeah, dude. The
He
last,
gave his hand.
the last East versus West when he was slapping himself. I was trying to make videos and I couldn't stop laughing. And I'm trying to get myself to shut up so I can make videos, and I couldn't because it was for some reason the funniest thing ever to me.
It's pure entertainment.
Yeah,
It's pure
yeah.
entertainment.
Yeah.
You got Jody feeding them little sugar pills. He's going
Yeah,
around
dude.
stumbling around stage.
Artem.
Yeah, Artem made it.
Remember
Yeah.
when he pulled Devin in the WAL?
Oh my gosh, that was
Oh, what a
amazing.
great match.
Yeah.
I
He's like
remember-
shaking the table.
I
and-
told him before the match.
Yeah.
I told Wagner before the match, you got to go for the press if you want to beat Devin.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
in the second round, he did went for the press and he beat him. And after the match, I texted him and I said, "See, told you you will beat him with the press." And I also told him you lost the match when you started doing that show about shaking the table and all that. And he
Mhm.
told me that I was right. And I remember I asked him, "Did they ask you to do that for the show?" And he told me yes. And that's when I lost all respect for the WAL.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, Wagner's press left-handed. Like, I don't know that I consider him the favorite against any of the top guys, but he could totally get a pin on anybody. He just squeezes it in there and just loses his mind, but then he gasses himself out from popping off so hard that he's done after that. Yeah.
He's too big. At this point, he looks like he's struggling to walk, and I'm a big guy too. I'm a power lifter. I lift weights. And at my age, and he's older than me, I'm 41 and I'm having problems. He has to be having problems, health issues, blood pressure, palpitations, anxiety, because he's so big.
Yeah.
And we don't know what kind of pancakes he's on,
Yeah. Yeah. And I've never been near that big, but I've been a little bigger than I'm right now in the past. And I just remember like having issues sleeping and just all kinds of random stuff, not being anywhere near that big. So I can only imagine how terrible that is. Or somebody like Levon, I assume he sleeps with a CPAP every night and all kinds of.
Yes.
I mean,
Like my theory is that whoever is gonna only high cholesterol would beat Levon.
Yeah.
And time.
Oh man. Yeah. So we need more butter on the pancakes. So.
Yeah, we need more butter. Actually, butter is good. Butter
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys hear that John and Dennis is confirmed?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do
February, right?
you
Perfect.
think about that, Pat?
Dude, okay, I think that Dennis should win, and I feel like Dennis is going to kill him. But John may have a potential lane to climb over that King's move. I feel like that's the only way to beat Dennis, unless you're just so much stronger than him, and probably Levon is the only one who might just be able to cup in and just go sideways.
yeah.
I think that maybe if John can climb over there, and maybe he can even gas him out a little bit if he gets a better position, but I have to think that they both just lose their wrist and then John just gasses out, I think. Dennis
Well,
might
he's-
have to flop press him though.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a lot. He's got a lot going on. I mean, he's got to pull a Rackley before that.
Oh, so he's gonna be little. Is that like at 100
He's
or
pulling a
105?
Rackley first, and I don't know the exact
It's
time
on the
frame.
weight. I believe it's king of the table. So
Mhm.
I believe it's gonna be like the time John faced Devin.
Right,
know,
right.
So
But
there's
there's
no
a-
weight cap, and I don't know how heavy is Dennis right now. I don't know.
Yeah, how big is
I
it?
don't even want to speculate on how heavy is Dennis because he looks big, but I don't know how
Yeah.
heavy he is.
I feel like I heard somebody say he was like 265, 275, but he looks lean too.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you know if there's a weight cap for Arackley versus John?
They don't
Yeah.
think there is.
Yeah, 105.
Oh, 105.
Oh, 105. Okay, yeah. So John can't really be that much bigger than that, right?
Yeah.
Dude, when is
John is gonna pull Iraqi at 131, 132, something like that.
yeah. Okay. Do we know when the date of the John versus Dennis match is?
It's at East versus West 6 that I think is in January 21.
Or that's John versus Irakli or John versus
Yes, John versus Irakli.
okay.
The King of the Table thing, I think it's in February. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So he's only going to have like a month to try to bulk up a little bit after that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd probably have to favor Dennis. I don't know, like unless something, I hope nothing happens like health wise. But
we gotta remember that the strongest version of John Bursank has been in 190 pounds. So I don't worry that much.
Yeah, that's true.
About
Yeah.
being too small.
Yeah, I don't know. It may not even really help him to get bigger. I'm not sure.
Well, also, not for nothing. I mean, what have we seen from Dennis recently by way of competition? I mean, we've seen practice polls, but nothing, not like in any super match that we've seen from John. We've seen John smashing and killing people left and right, all across, the world. So, what, like, we don't have much to go off of with Dennis right now, besides of what we used to know in the shell of what he was.
Yeah.
This evolved version. I like that. I really do think we're gonna see a lot more outside game from him. But will it be enough?
Yeah, I struggle to see John being able to pin Dennis, but you're right, he is untested, and I'm just so excited to see it. Like I almost don't even care, but I kind of have a feeling. Yeah, I have a feeling that he's gonna be like way stronger than anybody is thinking he's gonna be. Like we're gonna be saying he's number 2.
Well, I when you get beaten by a guy the way Dennis beat Devin, that time they pulled in Russia, I believe Devin has Dennis in very, very, very high esteem.
Yeah,
and maybe that's why he's telling Dennis he's this strong or he's stronger than anybody else but LeBron because of the experience he had pulling with him in Russia. But any arm wrestler, anybody that has arm wrestled, if you don't arm wrestle for a long time competitively, you're dead on the table. Not only the ready go, like that killer instinct that you gotta have to go and finish quick, you lose that, and maybe if Dennis is as strong as Devin says, but I think the downfall in the John match would be exactly that he won't be like really prepared for those ready goes and someone going really hard on to the pin pad. I don't know. I don't like to count John Bursank out of no one, of any match.
I don't think I've ever had any luck betting against John. So and let's be totally honest, I have been known in the past to make some pretty stupid predictions. So take it how it is. But
well, arm wrestling is a hard sport to predict. I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on with, especially at the supers, at the heavies, not even the supers. I mean, you got that match coming up, Monster Todd and Angarbayev. That's going to be an interesting one. Because I was expecting John. I know John had a fever and stuff when he lost to Angarbayev. But I was still expecting him to come out on top.
Dude, John didn't want to beat Kildagi. He didn't want to beat him. That's my opinion. He didn't want to be the champion. That's my opinion.
So you think
conspiracy?
Yeah. So what do you think that Michael Todd and Angarbayev, who wins that, is that going to set up a match with John? I mean,
well, you asking me?
Oh, I'm just putting it out there, Pat.
Well, John was supposed to have a match with Michael Todd on Monster Factory 3 last weekend, and that, because of Michael's injury, was off the table. But I don't really see, like, if anybody loses weight, they become weak. I don't know. That's my experience when I lose weight. And Michael has lost a lot of weight, and Angarbayev is just too good. Like, the guy is too good. And even if he don't look like really strong, those guys from over there are strong. They train hard and they are strong.
Angarbayev is ridiculous. His hit and his strength to weight ratio, like, he's a freak. So he's definitely a monster. So I'm expecting him to probably come out on top against Michael Todd.
Don't count out weight loss and losing strength as the norm per se, because there is exceptions to the rules. Exhibit A right here. I am stronger at 165 pounds than when I was 270 pounds. So I can tell you right now, there are some exceptions, and there are ways and techniques on how you can strengthen and maintain strength as you lose weight. So I'm sure somebody like Monster Michael Todd has a lot more resources than I do available to him to get to the subjects and topics on how to maintain that. So we'll see. We'll see.
But I didn't pick anyone. But because it's hard to me watching it's hard for me to say Michael Todd is going to lose to Ungurbayev. It's hard for me to say that.
Well, if he can't finish, I guess it all depends on if the monster can hang in there on that King's move. I guess we'll see.
Have we ever seen Ungurbayev do a press? Have we ever?
I can't say.
If you don't dominate that press technique against the Michael Todd's King's move, that you're dead. You're dead.
Who's to say Michael's gonna drop into the Kings at the lighter weight? He's faster now. Who's to say he's not gonna use his lethal press?
Yeah,
his press is pretty lethal.
Yeah, that's how he won that last match, right? He fired right in with that shoulder press right off.
Yeah, Michael has a lot of tools. He has a lot of tools. And I like better the Michael Todd that I met back in the day, where he was all crazy and going inside and all out. I love that guy, but that King's movie screwed everything.
But
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I mean, there was a lot of great matches on the card. I mean, Chance Shaw, he dominated 3-0. He was looking very impressive against BJ Fakakis. And he's got that upcoming match against Ryan Blue Bowen, right? I think he's going to smash.
Yeah, wow. I don't know why Ryan keeps doing that to himself. I don't know.
Hey, nobody can beat the true
we're on the
GOAT.
Subject about future things.
The true GOAT.
Let's talk about Nightmare. Nightmare, you're gonna be on the Olympia this weekend. How you feeling? You finished your prep. You're resting. What are you doing?
So this upcoming weekend, I got Olympia coming up. There's been a lot of back and forth about Olympia. There was, a change of hands as to who's going to be running it, and who's going to be, maintaining it. Thankfully, Bill Collins with the Ultimate Arm Wrestling League took over the reins and is putting on a damn good show. He's got a couple.
But that's a different set of rules.
What's up?
The WAL has a different set of rules.
UAL, but yes, it
is. UAL.
Yeah, it is a different set of rules that I have to get accustomed to. So it's something. I am literally flying into the most unknown territory, uncharted territory for myself that I've ever experienced, because for the first tournament, mind you, this is my now 20th tournament. I've competed now in the last two. My first tournament was September of 2020, and this will mark my 20th. I've been a busy guy. And
that's a lot of pulling.
Sorry?
That's a lot of tournaments.
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah. No,
that's impressive.
I've been busy. I've been pretty much pulling almost every month at a tournament. Yeah. I've had 3 super challenge matches, whatever you want to call it, whatever the lingo is. And I've done my homework on each and every person that I knew was going to be going. And I had a pretty decent idea as to who was going to be going to these tournaments. I'm jumping into this one knowing only possibly 2 people that are potentially going. I'm not entirely sure who my opponents are going to be. And I'm nervous, but not as nervous as one would think there would be, because I'm fairly comfortable with my skill set at this point. This is the test. This won't break me, but if I kick ass and when I come home with the first place, this will put my name on the map big time. And I got 2 other qualifying tournaments coming up that I qualified for, rather, New Weight Nationals and the Arnold. So this is just going to be my step on the rung of the ladder on the way up. I hope that it becomes a big leap.
dude.
Either which
But
way,
this is arm
I'm willing
wrestling.
to learn too.
This is arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is arm wrestling. This is the arm wrestling I love. The arm wrestling back in the early 90s and 80s, where you go to a tournament and you didn't know who you're going to pull. You just have to train to
That's
pull
true.
whoever, you know? And if I don't like that super match setup that is so popular right now. I like that. Like the thing you're saying. You're going to a big tournament, you don't know who you're going to face, you just got to pull, you know? And that's real arm wrestling.
I can't stress enough that what you said, like, it feels like this is the real arm wrestling. Everything has been like a little bit of a test or a quiz or a pop quiz or a preparation for this. Because I don't know, you know, like but I do like the super match format as well from time to time. Because if there's a specific person, let's say I get to a battle, I'm ready to go, and I may have been sleeping on whatever maybe, I think I can possibly beat that guy. I want another chance. So that's one of the reasons why I like the super match setting. But I do like the tournament setting because we're all, you know, throwing our blood, sweat, and tears into the trenches, and we're trying to get to the top.
Yeah, and remember, look for Arturo over there. Arturo is going to compete in the amateurs, I think.
I'm going to message him after this. I was meaning to message him
Arturo is going. If you needed any help and somebody, you know, to rub your arm, Arturo is going to be there. Yeah. Arturo is another Puerto Rican that lives in Las Vegas and arm wrestles too, you know.
Absolutely, that's awesome.
We have become a family, all of us, through social media.
Connecting us, man.
We became a family.
Hermanos del mundo.
We appreciate you connecting us all, man.
Yeah, Manolo, you're the man, brother. I see all the work and stuff that you're doing and putting in your own time and effort into the sport and growing the sport. I just want you to know that I see that. I'm sure a lot of other people see that too. I mean, that's why Devin Larrett was on your podcast the other night, because he sees all the hard work and the effort that you've been putting into it. So
people don't know or don't believe. I've been speaking with Devin for years, like since Instagram exists. I've been talking to Devin Larrett like for years, and people think I make money out of this. I don't make any money. Like I do this on my time. I'm not monetized. I'm not gonna say this because it might get me in trouble. But I'm not monetized. You know, I don't make any money out of it. And people think, and when I say people, I don't mean you guys. I say people here in Puerto Rico think that I make money out of this, and I don't. I really don't. I just do this because I love the sport, and this idea started to expose to the Puerto Rican people that arm wrestling was still alive in the island. And when toxic people that are in the sport in Puerto Rico started fucking things up, I started reaching out of Puerto Rico and I met Dan, and I met Arturo, and I met the guys from Colombia were the first guys that I contacted out of Puerto Rico, were the guys from Colombia. Then I met Elmo from Peru, then Edgardo from Costa Rica, then Daniel from the island of Antigua. You know, and at some point I feel like I can't stop doing this because the people in the Caribbean or Latin America are counting on this thing that I do. You know,
well, you keep putting that effort
right
in.
now, like Devin is gonna go to Mexico, and I said from here, you know, lying in my bed with my cell phone in my hand, I set everything up for Devin in Cancun, Mexico. You know,
that's awesome.
Is he gonna? I heard you guys talking about that on your podcast. Is he gonna go pull with a team over there and do some practice pulling?
There's a team like Mexico. It's really big, like really, really big, and there are arm wrestling teams everywhere in Mexico. And the guys that are going to receive Devin are the guys from Cancun, the Cancun club, but they are setting up to do the thing with Devin in Yucatan because they have better tables.
Gotcha.
And then I don't know if anyone from Mexico is watching. I got Kelly. Kelly is this guy that's like 6 feet tall, 6'10", and he's like almost 400 pounds. Like he's like really, really big.
Wow.
I don't know if you've seen pictures with him and Derek Smith.
No.
No, but
Anybody?
Derek Smith
I'll
is a
send
big.
you.
If
I
he's
got the
bigger
picture.
than
I'll
Derek
send it to
Smith,
you.
he's a big boy.
He's a big boy. I mean, he's bigger than Derek, and Derek is 6'8" and 300
Yeah.
pounds. You know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
So he's
insane.
bigger, and Kelly is gonna come down from where he lives. He lives at central Mexico. He's gonna come down to Cancun to pull Devin, and I want to see that shit because he's a big boy. You know, he's
Yeah,
a
I'd like
big
to see
boy, and I
Devin
know
come down.
Devin is Devin, but he wants to go and try himself with Devin. Plus, they told me that some of the guys from the Yucatan team were in Georgia training with Surab and all those guys. I don't know how, I don't know why, but that's
wow.
what they told me. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be good. They
Devin's-
told me they're gonna send me
Georgians.
videos, you know.
Those Georgians, I see them training. You know, you got Lavan and Irakli. It looks like they're basically like, you know, downstairs in a dungeon. Someone might get kidnapped in. There's like a single light bulb hanging across, like one light bulb, and they're just, you know, they got duct tape on all the preacher curl pads. It's just so raw.
Remember
and,
the
like,
Voivoda
love it.
videos? Do you remember the Voivoda videos? Him training in the gym.
Oh,
doing-
yeah.
he's
And
doing
he's
bench
got
press
like,
with a
and he's got
leg
like
press.
3 Russian guys like pulling in the behind. You know, it's like nuts.
He's like
They're
bench
training.
pressing a 2,000-pound leg press too.
Yeah. So and I don't really matter. Like, I don't know, when I see the Lavan lifting videos, he doesn't use plates. He uses like brake pads or something. I don't know what that is. You know, he says
It's all
he's
homemade.
lifting 200 pounds. It might be 300 because we don't know what those plates, you know, weight.
Yeah.
Well, really, the only one that to do numbers like Devin did on that cheat curl lift was Gennady. Now,
Yeah.
I know. Hey, Pep, you came out with a video of this maybe a day or two when you were talking about Devin on the pod, and he said, "You know what Dennis needs in order to beat Lavan, in essence, is me." And he was talking about going over and training with Dennis, you know, and try to serving that open
That
top
sounded like a
wall.
plan.
Mhm.
Like a well thought plan. And,
Yeah,
and
like
I
they've been
think it's gonna
talking about
happen.
it. Yeah.
Do you think that could come to fruition, Pat?
Oh, I hope so. We need what we need is Marcus Thompson to go fund all that or something like that. But yeah, that would be I don't know if they're done. I saw Devin talking about the documentary a little bit, but that would be the perfect ending. Like if Devin doesn't end up beating Lavan at some point, Devin training Dennis and then Dennis go beats Lavan. That's the perfect
It's like a
fairy tale ending.
story. It's
Well,
a fairy
yeah.
tale
did you
It would be a
Devin,
Disney princess
earlier,
movie.
like,
I guess,
I don't know, like 3 hours
Devin is
ago,
the princess
Devin
in
posted
that.
an update about the documentary. You guys saw it?
I
With the
started
arm
it.
wrestler?
You know, I started that video and then I saw that you were live and then I realized how dumb I was. So that I was literally like a minute into that video. Oh, hey, you know what? I'm going to be back in like 30 seconds. I forgot I put something in the oven and I'm burning the house down. Just give me 1 second.
Okay, don't worry. Don't worry
We
about
don't need no water. Let that MRF burn.
it. Anyway, if you see that video of the documentary, Devin said that like the documentary like evolved, that it was gonna end with him facing Lavan because it was the road to Lavan. Then they put in the match with John. Then they're gonna pull out some WAL footage and some other stuff. And I don't think it's crazy that people pick this idea and say, you know what, Devin, let's do this and let's keep doing this documentary and add this part to the documentary. You know, it's not crazy. And the way Emiliano, hold that thought. Perdón un momentito, Emiliano. I'm going to talk about that. The way Devin said it, it looked like a pitch that it was like already talked about. Like he had said that before he said it to me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I could see Devin actually doing it, but I don't know about if Dennis would actually sign on for something like that. You know, I don't think I think it's a bit of a pipe
war
dream.
thing, it's going to be hard.
Yeah, but I mean, as fans, we would all love to see it.
We'd love
You
to see
know,
it,
but
the reality of it probably won't happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on somebody that is not an arm wrestler, that just a monster of a human, walking in, and then within 5 years, because of whatever lifestyle they had, they were able to actually get a jump start of being at the super heavyweight, who do you think that monster is?
Well, Dan, have you seen like those videos with Brian Shaw?
Yeah.
And Derek Smith? Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he's actually up for it. You know, I saw also Eddie Hall was doing some practice pulling. So, I mean, there's guys that have probably done it and tried to cross over in the past, but I think it has to deal with, like, you know, like you said, the table proficiency, because those guys are strong on certain lifts and they have these movement patterns developed as like strongman and power lifters. And then they get on the table and they're weak in certain areas or don't have the technique. Well, you said 5 years. A lot can be learned in 5 years.
Like Brian Shaw, he has been saying for like the last 5 years, and look it up in Juji Mufu's channel. Juji started doing collabs with different people.
Is the man.
One of those guys was Brian Shaw, and I believe he was the very first guy that he brought to his house, and Juji was just starting arm wrestling. And Brian said that when he retired from strongman, he might start arm wrestling because he's a very competitive guy. Now, Brian is not a kid, you know. Brian is like 42 years old now, you know, and it's okay. He can start now, but he would like to have like leave everything behind and concentrate on arm wrestling to do the things people talk and expect him to do. Like the people think he's gonna come and start in arm wrestling and he's gonna dominate like from day one.
Not even
close.
That's
not possible.
He wouldn't even be a top 15 guy.
No, it wouldn't. It would that before he even gets to that level, it would have to be 5 years. To be honest, I think for someone like him with his pedigree, his conditioning, because not for nothing, when you lift as much weight as that man has lifted, his joints are definitely much more conditioned than your average human just jumping into the arm wrestling world, right? So like he definitely has that much more of a leg up than anyone else in the sport if he were to dedicate and commit. Not saying he is or isn't, but that would be awesome. I think it would be a great thing for the sport.
What I want to see and what I know is his hand,
Yeah.
because he has the strongest grip in the world. He has it. He has all the records, and his hand, if he can become very proficient at arm wrestling techniques and styles, I mean, he's gonna have to put on a lot of hours on the table. But his hand and his grip, that's like people are saying, he's 6 tons and he's 400 pounds. I don't think about that. All I think about is his hand and wrist strength, you know? That's it.
So I got something funny to share. So I was hanging out with Paul Cruz. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's about 4 or 5 years in the sport, super heavy. The guy is going to be on scene, right and left hand. Keep an eye on him and his name. He is a beast of a human. I went ahead, we were trying to show how big of a hand this man has. Literally, his fingertips end up here on my hand. When my hand is elbow to elbow on the table, his fingertips is literally a full hand. Taller and above mine. It's like, it's uncanny. And, I mean, I'm really bad to be used as a litmus test with that because I have the smallest hands you'd probably find. You guys haven't met me yet, but you'll learn that this little hand has got a lot of power.
Yeah.
I can't wait to grip up with you, Dan. So where are you at the Olympia? What is your wake up weight right now, and what weight are you competing at? Is it in kg? LB, like what's going on?
It's in the pounds, and it's going to be. I'm competing at the 165 class. I'm sitting at 167, 168.
So you're exactly where you want to be. No cut.
Yeah, I did this one differently. My first time being at the 165 class, I did a cut in about a month and a half, and I did feel sapped of my energy because I was starving myself. I was in a major caloric deficit. I was doing insane levels of cardio while taking a thermogenic. I was running myself ragged, and I was not being healthy about it. This time I did it much smarter. I took about 2.5 months to cut from because I was 176 So I was like, I'm gonna be healthy. I'm gonna do it smart. I'm gonna diet plan, meal plan it all, and eat really clean. Cut
Yep.
out all sugars. My carb intake
Beautiful.
came from vegetables, and I ate very little fruits. Because
Oh,
fruit has a
Dan.
large amount of sugar, and other things that you can do some. So when it
So
comes to
much.
being well, though, like for the weight cut, like it's important to know that, listen, we're abusing the hell out of our bodies, right? Like, we are literally generating forces that break people's bones, for crying out loud, into our elbows, into our shoulders, into our wrists. So how do we keep going with that? And I took it upon myself to, as a massage therapist, 10 years ago, I didn't know anything about wellness, and I was like, wait, no, I know a thing or two about this stuff. So why don't I apply it to my own well-being? And then I started peeling back the layers of what's available out there, and I got into, cryotherapy, acupuncture, red light therapy, float therapy, all these different wellness style services that don't do anything other than make your body work in its optimal level. In our optimum conditions, we can heal, recover, and train so much faster and harder than we've ever imagined possible. I didn't know that I had these limits, and I'm still breaking through my own records and my own limits as if they didn't even exist from the previous week. And it's like, I just keep getting stronger. And
Hey, progressive overload. That's
yeah,
just that, doesn't have to be just a gym turn. You can progressive overload in arm wrestling, certain numbers, and you want to keep track of your lifts, and it's hard to gauge just on table strength, because it's like, oh, I pulled this guy 3 months ago, now I beat him now, but is he stronger as well? It's like a tricky thing to gauge. So but I kind of am totally in line. I mean, great minds think alike. Like, as far as the diet stuff, I when I wanted to go 155, I cut out all the carbs, all the processed foods. I have a skin condition, so anything with high sugars, anything with a high glycemic index, I can't have like a lot of fruits or processed sugars. So I got rid. My brother, the joke is, I eat like a horse. I eat carrots and oats. So I'm enjoying now having some carbs again in my diet, because I felt like kind of the 155, because you have all those tendons and stuff around, and that fat around it, just makes you feel stronger. It's hard to keep the strength levels in the cut, So how do you feel about like before, because you were at 176 before, now you're at 165, you said? So do you still have this? You said you were stronger at your lighter weight, or do you feel you've diminished any gains, or you just keep, progressing?
I think I'm a little stronger than I even was previously, but that's in part due to my focus on core strengthening while cutting. When I do any form of cardio or anything that requires me to work up any level of sweat, I'm wearing a weighted vest. And all of our power when it comes to pulling motion, think about it. In arm wrestling, what are we locking and what are we actually moving? We're locking the arm, right? This has got to be strong in this position and not much else. Because if you think about it, yes, we can bring it back, it can be strong, but that's not the arm moving. See, look, the ankle's not changing, right?
It's the lat more
moving
than
the
anything,
physical
right?
arm, I'm moving the body.
Yeah.
So if I can maintain focus on the core that everything else is attached to, everything will maintain getting stronger as I'm strengthening it, even though I'm trying to focus on losing weight at the same time. So, just maintaining your core strength as strong as possible with the body mechanics, the focus on body mechanics. And that's the number one reason why I believe Manolo, and that we were seeing a very large amount of arm breaks across the nation, because a lot of people are jumping into the sport without the proper education of understanding. Listen, on a basic level, the number one way to prevent any form of injury is, when you're arm wrestling and you're warming up, is to warm up the same exact way you would be arm wrestling. So when you warm up, go with your arm. Go with your arm. Follow it the entire way. Be the pendulum with the entire thing. Don't just go like this when you're warming up, because you're only warming up this right here, and then it's only going to put only the strain on the arm. So
Totally.
The best
I totally agree with you, Dan, on there with I like the background with the weighted calisthenics. I love doing that. Every time I do pull-ups, I put on a 20-pound weight vest. You know, I'm trying to increase my numbers and like progressively overload, you know, to get more and more, weight on my lifts. And I always get shit. All the gym bros are like, "Oh, you're not doing full range of motion, bro." I'm like, I'm not trying to get stronger in that range of motion, bro. Like, I'm trying to get stronger right here, like when I'm doing, you know, grips. So.
Yes.
It's called functional strength.
Exactly.
You're
Like-
trying to make that functional strength for that specific task or thing that you're trying to accomplish. So yeah.
Yeah, the movement mechanics.
Like,
Like,
I'm
I
wrestling-
notice how important. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Manolo.
Arm wrestling, when I start explaining arm wrestling in Puerto Rico, I call it el deporte del trinco. And that's, you got to be tight. You got to be strong in that position, you know,
Right
and you
in
got to
here.
train for that, you know, and going back to Devin started explaining all those types of trainings on YouTube, and he was like the first person to do that, and he styled, you know, and it's easy to beat a bicep, an arm, a hand, but it's not easy to beat an entire body. And I learned that from David Randall. Like, if you train and learn to make your hand, your forearm, your bicep, your tricep, your shoulder, your lat, your abs, your pec, to be one single piece of your body, it's
Kinetic
gonna be really
chain.
hard to beat you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
whole kinetic chain. Yeah, I've noticed like a lot of the amateurs doing that. I find it so important to maintain that hip hinge, like you were talking about, Dan, and just kind of like, I will have bruises on my hips that will last for weeks after a hard table practice.
And you're doing it right, because it should be like you're making love to the table.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's almost like I'm dropping, you know, just dropping that weight in my whole body. It's like I'm a little teapot, short and stout. You know, here's my handle. And I'm, you know, just
I will tell you another trick that I find that works for me. So take it or leave it. When you're arm wrestling, never let this get out of sight from you. Because the minute it's over here, somebody hits. It's easy for it to go there, right? So if I'm over here, someone hits, I can stop it still.
And you
I
can
feel
even
like,
come back.
You can
You know,
come back from
like,
that. Whereas
if
from
you're here,
it's much
and
harder.
You're strong here, and you learn how to arm wrestle here. Even if when you're down, you can come back from that position. You know.
Yep, because your body's protecting your arm at that point. So it's always
I wanna make a parenthesis here in this part, because I'm while we are discussing this, I'm talking with my Mexican friend Emiliano Osorio. He's from Veracruz, Mexico, and we're talking about who's the best arm wrestler in Mexico, because when I was talking to Devin asked me who I thought was the best arm wrestler in Mexico, and that I know, the guy that I know that went to Worlds and ended in second place behind Corey Miller, Juan Carlos Gaya. And that's why I talked about Juan Carlos. But my friend Emiliano here is telling me, like, they have the rankings, like if the best Mexican arm wrestler is where was it? I think it's up here. He told me it was like, could you like, Emiliano, could you like write it again so I can like, the fuck happened here? Okay. It said Josue Maya is the best arm wrestling in Mexico. I'm wrestling in Mexico. Then in second place, Fabian, and third place, Hugo, and maybe he could be tied for third place with a guy that is now his name is Alan Guerra, and in fourth place, Hector Mendoza. Now, I don't know any of these guys, but I would love to get to meet them and maybe have them all on this show, because I am due to have a podcast with the guys from Mexico. But Mexico is so big that it would have to be a couple of guys from different groups from different parts of Mexico, you know, so I could do justice to the arm wrestling community in Mexico. But thank you for the for the orientation on your rankings, Emiliano. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Okay, we were talking about training, right?
Yeah.
So, people, like, when you start on any sport, you gotta find people that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like you cannot like make a good copy of a copy. You gotta go get the original to make a copy, right? Now, if you start arm wrestling with people that may know enough to protect themselves, but they may not know enough to teach you how to protect yourself, you know? And I think that's the sport is growing so fast.
It is.
And everybody wants to help everybody, and everybody wants the sport to grow, that we are making that mistake. Like we got tournaments. Like I remember Jason Latona telling me a couple of months back that they had a tournament, and this tournament, they were in the middle of the tournament, and they had to call an ambulance because some guy in the parking lot was arm wrestling in one of the table and broke his arm, you know. And we gotta like be responsible. Like,
yeah, certainly. I mean, Manolo,
that you know.
there's they say you know, all press is good press. I don't know if it's true in that instance. You know, I think if we want to get this sport mainstreamed, you know, we have to take into consideration a couple of factors. One would be, you know, because it's a combat sport. Devin will say this all the time. It's a combat sport. That's why you got to sign releases when you go and pull at these things, because of the inherent risk of injury. Now, we want to, you know, as from a risk mitigation perspective, we want to minimize that risk as much as we can. So you get that by having, you know, knowledgeable referees, you know, knowledgeable camps. You know, I lucked into it finding Lethal Arms in Harrisburg, you know, Paul Lentz camp again, because I went into a table practice and had a few at least under my belt. So I knew how to protect myself, you know, always looking at my hand, you know, staying outside, you know, keep not staying out, opening up my shoulder and exposing myself, you know, going outside when you're trying to do side pressure, like little stuff like that. So, I mean, if we want to get WAL style and get back on TV and get this mainstreamed, you know, we can't be having, you know, 4 guys breaking their arms at, you know, at events, you know.
Actually,
But
no,
in the serious game of arms, we had there were a couple of injuries, like serious injuries in Game of Arms. I remember Michael Ciliaris broke his hand, and Nick Zena tore his bicep against Kenny Hughes. And you're right, you know, you're right, and we just have to, people that have experience have to like step up and take the lead on that point, you know.
That's what was great about my Florida experience, is because it was very well polished. Everything from the referees to the meeting before with all the athletes, going with all the rules, you know, telling everybody to make sure everybody was safe. You know, Brandon Lee and Chance Shaw and Artem, all those guys wanted to make sure that everybody, you know, went home healthy at the end of the day, and it was a beautiful experience. So just having the infrastructure set in place where you have these referees and camps and you know, advisors watching over the combatants and the participants, I think, you know, makes a big difference. It's a lot different than just setting up and, you know, at a bar and, you know, having guys not have the proper supervision or the know-how and that are just so green.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that if we can
back.
also, I've been back. I just didn't want to interrupt anybody.
What's up, Pat?
Well, I think that if we can come up with a single cue, because we have, like, you know, look at your hand, don't open up. There's a lot of stuff that you have to take in, especially if you are new to the sport. And I feel like if we can come up with a single cue that maybe like both shoulders being in line with the back of the table, something that prevents you from getting into break arm position, but also prevents you from opening up. If it could do everything at once, I think that would be helpful. Because another thing is, looking at your hand, I understand why that cue exists, but I can like turn around and face away from the table and still look at my hand and break my arm, right? So I feel like I feel like we can kind of revamp some of those cues, and it'll help it be a little bit safer.
Look at Tom Hutchins. Look at Todd Hutchings.
Yeah.
Todd gets into really, really ugly positions when he pulls with power. Like when he goes like full side pressure, he goes like this and just was like.
Yeah, you literally just, that's the other thing we need to do.
I've seen some of that with Steve Black in person. Same thing. It's just gut-wrenching.
Well, he's an exception to the rule. You know, king of side pressure right there. He's a freak.
No, but look at the Prutnik match. Look at the match between Prutnik and Devin. Devin got into some shitty positions. Like when he was like the last round when he was like this, pushing like this.
Yeah.
I just saw a guy break his arm like that. But then again, then you got the experience of years and years of arm wrestling, and your bones are strong, and your everything is strong. You know.
I think it's all just a conspiracy. That's the secret to win, and they just don't want us to know. We need to delete all the Todd Hutchings videos on the internet if we want to eliminate arm breaks, because people see that and then they're like, "Oh, that's the way. That's the way.
That's the way."
Yeah,
but it is.
They go like, "Damn!" Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And did you saw the Adam Wosinski match against Bosa?
Me or
you saw that match?
I did, yeah.
What the fuck was that? How did he? That guy didn't break his arm. How?
You know, pancakes. I don't know.
Dude, what kind of pancakes? Elbow pancakes? What was that?
All of them.
Like,
directly into your UCL.
Like this, like low and looking away. How?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing that now, and I feel like
that hurts me just looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I feel the pressure just doing that right now.
Dude, Adam didn't finish that match earlier because he was worried about breaking his arm.
Yeah, I was wondering why he wasn't, and that did cross my mind a little bit. That was a scary position.
He was like if I hit, I'm gonna break him, and he did it.
Yeah, I've heard Devin talk a lot about sliding your elbow like from the front right of the pad, slide it to the back left, and you'll kind of automatically, even if your hand doesn't move, you're getting more shoulder behind it in a way where you're backing it more with your frame instead of just being in break arm position. And I think that's another thing that people can do more. And I feel like it's stronger anyway, but the way that Devin hooks, like he's really behind it. He's not just going into break arm position.
He's big enough to do it.
That's true. He's kind of tall, isn't he? So
I try to press and go inside like that. I can because I'm too wide and too thick. I can't do that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So I'm skinny enough that I can do that, but.
Do you arm wrestle, Pep? Do you arm wrestle?
I try to.
How much you weigh, Pep?
Well, we'll say.
Okay, that's personal info.
We'll say 420.44 pounds. That's my kilograms. Yeah.
But at least you practice and train for arm wrestling, or.
Oh yeah, I love. Yeah, I train every day. I practice every chance I get. I love it. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so you know what you're talking about, not only from seeing it, you do it too.
Well, I wouldn't say that I know what I'm talking about, but I do arm wrestle. So.
Well, there's two people that I love the way they describe arm wrestling and the action on the table. It's one is Kevin Paco, and the other one is Pep.
Oh,
because they you feel like they know what they're talking about.
Well, I'm really happy that I was able to create that illusion. So, been able to ensnare everyone.
It's working.
I still know what I'm talking about. So.
Yeah.
Dude, what would you do if Egging Tersey contacted you and say, Pep, I want you to come narrate East
He'd have to
versus
show
West.
up in a gorilla mask like Sergey did.
Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. I'll be like, look, let me do it from my house.
Oh, you should do live commentary.
I don't really know what I'm talking about. It's just an illusion.
I could send like a decoy. That would be funny. I could send myself as Ryan Bowen. Like it's been me the whole time.
Pep, I want to ask you. What?
Sorry. Send Devin's kid.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Hey, that was the real reason I was late, is because the Wi-Fi in Devin's basement is so bad. I've been trapped down here for years, so, you know.
I thought I saw a high hookers video with you in the background in the corner chained up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that wasn't supposed to get out, so we'll just kind of keep that on the down low. But
It was chained in the basement of the high hookers headquarters.
yeah, chained up with a bunch of straps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat, I want to get your opinion on an upload that you put out the other day. It was a reference to when Devin was on Poseo.
Yeah.
Corey West is number one. And, you know, Corey West, he killed on the Monster Factory. I'm sure you saw the whole event.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah.
He just smashed, and everyone's saying, you know, he's ready for, you know, Artem Morozov.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think he probably could be number one overall left in the world if Enkin wanted to give him that matchup. But I also think, you know, I mean, I'm sure you saw the match we had with David Dadikan, when it was like a, you know, I think it ended up being a silver bullet. So, like, do you think he should pull a guy like David first before he would get the number one shot? Or, you know, you think he's ready?
Well, okay, so I'm not totally convinced that the Morozov Dadikan match was totally legitimate, because Morozov did propose to him, like, the day before? So I think they're actually married.
Yeah.
But it was weird. It felt like he didn't want to win.
Wait. Hold on.
You didn't see that?
He was like, yeah, they were like making love in the press conference before the thing.
Yeah, they do the face off, and Morozov gets down on his knee and proposes to him. So it seemed like they weren't really wanting to kill each other that bad. Yeah.
Anyway, but Morozov, even on that match, Morozov said he was injured.
Yeah, like that match just kind of felt a little bit weird, and I think that they are buddies, and so like they wanted to win, but I don't know. It seemed to me like Morozov almost didn't even want to win because he felt like he was taking the title away from his friend or something. But yeah, I think that from a marketing standpoint, Corey is totally ready for that match. So I think that's probably more important. So like if he were to go lose to Dadikan, that kind of messes that up a little bit, right? So I think he can just go ahead and pull Morozov. And I have no idea who would be the favorite in that. I feel like maybe Corey's wrist is a little bit more vulnerable on left because he doesn't pull against Michael King's move on left. So I probably would favor Morozov. But yeah, I think now is probably just as good a time as any for him to pull.
But we got to consider, and I'm not taking anything from anyone, but we gotta speak the truth, you know. Cody Merritt went to the IFAA World Champions and won the World Championship, and that title was stripped away from him because of doping. You know, they tested and he tested positive for steroids and shit, and he might be off the juice, you know.
Yeah, that's Mm-hmm. I mean, we all know that nobody in the sport of arm wrestling has ever done steroids in their life. That is a fact. No. But
nobody in bodybuilding either. It's all.
And every single event is tested to the fullest ability that they can. So you know, Levon is everybody's so totally natural. But
he's so natural.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, if you watch the show I did with Edgardo, the president of the WWF from Costa Rica, he talked about Levon, and he said, I met Levon when he was 100K. The next year, he was 400 pounds.
Yeah. Those pictures of him when he's 180 pounds, I mean, he still has kind of like the structure of like the person he is now a little bit.
Unrecognizable though.
Well, he's the guy that got eaten by Levon.
By current Levon.
Yeah. That was his older brother. He just ate him. So, but yeah, hey, I was going to say, you guys earlier, you were talking about somebody who could come into the sport, maybe have a chance against Levon in 5 years. I know somebody who can beat Levon tomorrow. You guys know who I'm talking about?
Who?
He's the GOAT. He's not Ryan Bowen, but he's Kyriakos Grizzly. I'm telling you, he'll beat him tomorrow.
Grizzly.
He'll harness the meme power. Yeah. Levon has no chances.
Wait,
I love
I
these
didn't get it.
videos, man.
Okay,
Oh, that's
okay.
so good.
Do you know who? All right, I'm gonna send you a picture. I can't explain it because I can't do it justice. He's that guy that does like oh shoot, sorry. He does shrugs with like I don't know 7,000 pounds.
Oh yeah,
then-
the
yeah.
big
Just
fat
partials.
guy. Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
screams and it causes earthquakes. It's it's amazing.
What?
But I'm telling you,
He's like they
Oh,
call
yeah.
him the bloat lord. He is
Yeah.
the bloat lord, and we are all his
he
subjects.
goes
And
like,
It is.
it goes like,
oh yeah, that guy. And then he screams, and then he has like people in his gym, and as he's screaming, they're like popping off for him. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. But yeah,
the
he'll crush them.
comments are great too, because it's like the new Chuck Norris. It's like
Oh
when,
yeah,
when this guy doesn't walk, the earth moves. You know,
exactly.
like-
Well, and it's
So it's like-
it's even better too
Yeah.
now because
Yes.
now we know that the rankings are either him or Bowen are tied for first, and now Levon's not even top 2, so it gets even better.
I love it.
Well, where does Liver King sitting there? Liver King's got to be in the top 5.
Well, I don't know. See, the thing is, everyone else is not on steroids, so
Yeah.
I think he's in his own category. Liver King's the
Yeah.
only one. Yeah.
Living by
that
his ancestral
that
tenets.
guy got people eating penises and balls and all that, thinking they were
yeah.
gonna get their test.
Shows
I don't know.
Yeah.
condition of the state of the mind of society is kind of broken a little.
Well,
Dude, that guy, it's all marketing. This steroid
Mhm.
things, that's all planned out. He's all
Oh, yeah.
making money out of it. It's just a big sham.
I made a video a while back that was Brandon Allen. I think it was Brandon Allen pulling with John Brasink or Devin Larrett or somebody. And I narrated it as Liver King, because Liver King looks a lot like Brandon Allen. And I'm like, this is the funniest thing ever. And then I get all these comments, people, I'm unsubbing. You're so dumb that you think this is Liver King. This is Brandon Allen. I'm like, oh man, people don't get it.
That'd be a good super match.
Dude,
Yeah.
I didn't remember. I just
There you
remember that.
go.
Yeah.
Liver
And-
King,
and-
Brandon Allen super match. King of the Table 7.
Oh, perfect. They're both natural.
Well, Brandon is like he's like 250 now, and he doesn't have a beard.
Yeah, it's crazy. He he used to look exactly like Liver King, and now
Yeah.
he looks like Ron Swanson. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Look at him, and then look at Ron Swanson with that new, I don't even know what that is, like a mustache beard thing, but it's
Yeah,
he's
man,
Ron
yeah,
Swanson.
I lost faith when Brandon shaved his beard. I knew the end of the world was coming, man. It's
yeah.
coming. It's coming. He shaved. I'm like very disappointed in the world.
Yeah, that's like 30 years of work down the drain. So
Yeah, man. That's
Yeah.
like hard. That's hard.
yeah.
Damn,
Hard
he got
choice
a
to make,
big
though.
beard
I
like
can only
that.
imagine the thought process that had to go into that, to say, I'm chopping this thing off.
Yeah.
Hey, well, if Ron Swanson is going to be your idol, that's pretty good. He's the pinnacle of manhood.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've
So if there's
watched
somebody to shoot for Swanson. You could do a lot worse than Swanson.
yeah, way worse. Yeah. But yeah, he's I've watched that episode of him talking about how to be a man. It just sits on repeat in my house all day long. So
Oh man, I've just eaten abnormally large amounts of bacon and just pretended to be Ron Swanson at buffets before. Hey, talking about the Monster Factory, Pet. I want to bring up Paul Lynn again because I know he kind of got, he kind of got ran over by a heavier Pablo. Paul Lynn being my guy, it was tough to watch, but he was giving up a weight difference of about 20 pounds on him.
Mhm.
Now, Paul is pulling. I forget exactly where, but he's pulling Rustum.
Yeah, Ireland.
It should be at East versus West, right? Or just the next one.
It was West. Oh, sorry, Turkey.
Yeah.
So I just kind of wanted to see, based on his performance there, and I don't know too much about Rustum. Like, how do you feel about this matchup?
Yeah, so I haven't seen Rustin pull in a while, and I think maybe the last thing I've seen from Rustin was like, I think he was practicing with Prudnick or something like that on an arm bets video back in the day. So I have no clue how good he is right now. Honestly, I thought that if Paul did not top roll Pavlo, he was going to have no chances. And I'm pretty sure that he was able to, I only saw the match once, but I feel like I remember him holding off Pavlo for a little while in a defensive hook.
Yeah, it looks like he almost had like a hook set in for a minute earlier in the round. And then I feel like he had it kind of locked in, kind of, had a sticking point, and then he kind of had to bail and tried to slip out of it.
Yeah. I wondered if he had held him there, because I remember that Lachlan pulled Pavlo and left, and Lachlan got a similar stop. And I think Pavlo kind of gassed out there. So I had wondered if maybe he had a chance if he had just dug in and held there. But yeah, I think that Pavlo's hook is amazing, and John Brzenk really had to work hard to get through that hook, and he didn't even really end up straight up hooking him. So, but yeah, it just totally depends on where Rustam's at. Like, if Paul can top roll him, I think he'll probably get him. But honestly, I would love to just see him hook with him just to see his power. I think he's got a shot for sure. And Rustam's smaller, right? Like, he's pretty short.
Yeah. Rustam is like 5 foot tall.
Yeah. So I feel like
really short.
Yeah, I feel like Paul probably should have a pretty good shot in that. If I don't know if Rustam's been training or what, but I haven't seen anything from him.
Well, all I've seen from Rustam is from Basil.
UK.
Sorry, what?
From what I hear, Rustam's been training pretty hard over in UK.
Okay.
Training with the arm gods, the Marcus Thompson. Paul Maiden and that group, Club Torture. He's been hanging with them.
Anything with Marcus Thompson, I gotta endorse that because I like money. So yeah, Rustam's gonna win in that case.
When's that Arm Gods channel coming out with content? I'm sorry.
You all guys know Vasil, right? The guy that was in Dubai and broke his arm and then broke his arm again.
I don't know.
Vasil, Ukrainian. I did a live stream with him.
Okay, yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he broke his arm on the after Devon faced John, I think, in December.
Yeah.
He broke his arm, then he broke his arm again this last October, the same arm. Now, Basil, I've seen him training in the same gym with Rustam. That's all what I've seen of Rustam. All I've seen of him. So I don't really know what shape he is in, but like I was saying from that about Dennis, that ring rust, that if the ready goes and all that, if he hasn't done that in a long while, that's going to work against him. And Paul, he's been active, he's strong, he's hungry. I do believe Paul can win, and beat him.
Yeah,
beat him fast.
Well,
yeah, I think
he's my guy. He's a top dog, and in the campsite.
Yeah, you got to root for Paul.
He looks so strong.
Yeah, I think he probably should be the on-paper favorite just because he's active. But Rustam is going to have like a huge leverage advantage if it does go into the hook. So, and I remember Tim Bresnan like really struggling with Rustam back in the day, and I think Rustam beat Jerry, unless I'm crazy. It was probably, I think so. I think he beat Jerry. But I think it was in a tournament or there was an excuse, I remember. But
was it the only time I've seen Jerry over there was on the Slutty tour?
That may have been it. I feel like, hold on, maybe I'm just drunk.
He couldn't breathe in that thing. His shirt was too tight and they had to cut it off.
That's true. Yeah.
But maybe it's possible, or maybe it was Rustam's brother.
Maybe was it Zola? It was somebody small.
Yeah, they would, but he was. If it happened, it was a Slutty because they were both there at some point at the same time.
Yeah, I think I'm drunk. I searched it and I'm not finding it. So, but either way, I think Rustam is if he is where he used to be, or if he's a little bit stronger than that, I think he probably has better endurance than Paul as well. I think he gets tighter and just in a more efficient position in that hook. So, I mean, I'll pick Paul though. He's so nice. I gotta pick Paul always. So you can pull Vaughn. I'll pick Paul.
Early, gets early on the count on him and like 3-0s him. pretty much.
But
Yeah, yeah.
me being a guy that it's like Rustam, like my arms are short and stuff. If Paul has good enough back pressure, that's it.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
Rustam has to pull him down, you know, and if he has good enough back pressure, you know, it's gonna open his arm. You know, it's a high hook might do the trick. Like when he like the last match he had at East versus West, exactly like that. That move might have Rustam.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think I think Paul is pretty realistic, and I do know that he was probably considering himself the underdog against Pavlo, and I think he's considering himself the underdog now. So
yeah,
he'll tell you himself though. He likes that role. He likes being the underdog.
Yeah, he's good at it. He's good at it.
Oh, yeah. No, who also has been on a tear left. I don't know if you saw recently, but I think there was an event. It was like in Washington, but Artem Taranenko is killing it. He just had a huge victory against Andrei Sharkovich or Shark, you know. I'm not pronouncing his name, but he looks like, you know, that should shoot him up in the rankings, at least in the U.S. and North America.
Yeah, I love Artem.
At least at 198, Artem has to be number one in North America in both arms because he has beaten everyone.
Yeah,
that's crazy, isn't it? Like, I feel like I remember watching Artem, and he's just this goofy guy that sounds like Kermit. And then I come back like a year later, and he's the number one guy, and he's like all juiced up and like huge.
Oh yeah, I went to in the Florida States championships. He was walking around with a shirt that said Trinity. Yeah, like he loves it. He loves those pancakes, baby.
Yeah, Artem's funny too, but he is so strong.
And yeah, he's got massive.
Yeah, it's crazy. He always confuses me though, because I feel like he does troll lifting too, because he'll upload some video of him doing like 70 pounds on back pressure or like some number that I feel like is really bad, and then he'll go beat Andre or go like almost beat Dan Mosier or something. I think he because
what he chose is the tapering face.
Yeah, it must be something.
That's what he
that.
chose. I mean, I had him in the live stream. He reached out and asked me to have him on this show, and I did like a couple of months back, and I straight up talked with him. Like when he visited Todd Hutchins and spent some time with Todd, taught him how to train the way he trains. After that, Artem changed.
Was that like the same time when he got on trend though? Because I mean,
maybe,
Todd Hutchins is a great programmer,
but, you know, pharmacist.
You know, but I think Todd knows what he's doing with training too. Clearly.
Yeah, he did seem to level up right after he started that training session with Hutchins, Manolo.
Yeah, and you know what else? Yeah. His hit got really good too, and he started doing that like band hit training thing that I don't think I've seen anyone but Todd do, that with the hard stop where it just looks like you're trying to break your arm, you're just slamming it. Yeah, the chain thing. Yeah, that is that's crazy.
What Arden told me that the most valuable thing he took from Todd is that he told me that he like concentrated a lot in technique and being a good arm wrestler and having a good top roll and all that, and like Todd told him like oh, you're already good doing that, forget about that, just get strong.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did. He told me, and you can look it up, it's on the channel. He forgot about technique and started training with a setup like Todd and started getting strong, and look what he got him. Like he's really strong, like really, really strong.
Yeah, law of diminishing returns, because he has really good technique. I think especially for a tournament, he's really explosive. But yeah, he just needed to get massive. Yeah. And it works.
And he's not 220. He's like 200 pounds. He's not 220.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's not huge. No. But yeah, he's strong where it's important.
The only guy that's left that Artem hasn't beaten is Adam Borsinski. That's the only guy.
And he looked great.
There's
West. He looked unstoppable.
Yeah, no.
And his
And now
method,
he's
you
gonna
see,
pull
I don't know if
some
he's been
Famucha now.
pumpkin training,
Yeah,
but the
he's-
size of his right hand compared to his left,
Yeah.
it's like freakishly big.
I think he must have something like Oleg Zok has, because that I noticed that at first. I was like, oh, he's doing pumpkin training, but that was a huge difference. I think he has some sort of blood flow something, but if that's
Well-
only from pumpkin training, that is amazing, because his right arm was like, yeah.
I'm new in the sport. You're going to be starting seeing a bigger variance between arms.
I don't know. You can see a
rare,
difference in my hand. This is my right hand. This is my left hand.
there's a rare deformity that
There's
actually
a
happens.
difference.
It's called subclavian
Look,
steel syndrome.
I
It's
cannot
where the
bring my
blood
arms
supply-
together. I'm trying.
Dude.
I can
So
like that.
the condition that I have actually affects my recovery of my left, and affects my stamina of my left as well. My right arm steals the blood supply from my left.
That's awesome.
So it's literally like I've noticed like there's about almost, I'd say, a half inch to a full inch size discrepancy at this point. We'll see where it goes. I'm not pumpkin training. I can call it quasi pumpkin training, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. What have you measured
always
like?
going to favor your stronger arm. You know, like,
Yeah, I'm
like your
favoring
dominant
when
hand.
I'm training. I'm definitely favoring my right arm over my left. But if somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, you want can we pull left?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." But I'm not doing as many arm wrestling specific workouts. When you do the one arm workouts, I actually train my left only when I'm doing pull ups or I'm doing 2-arm workouts.
So have you measured ever like 1 rep maxes on certain like specific lifts just to tell like how much percent your right is stronger?
No, actually, I have not.
That would be interesting.
Surprisingly, I did discover though that my a little less range of motion, but I could still move the weight nonetheless. Both arms with not the greatest amount of difficulty. I was able to do a preacher curl single hand 80 pounds on each arm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's good.
and but my left, it is strong, but the stamina and the injuries that I'm more prone to has hindered its success. I was actually going to be competing left-handed in the last tournament, but because of an injury, I didn't, and because of that, it knocked my chances from being possibly ranked, because I already had a couple of wins on already ranked people left-handed, and I just needed to pretty much finalize it, and I would have been able to get into there. But now it's feeling healthy again. I'm pretty much gonna wait till March to compete with it.
Hey Dan, though, aren't you gonna be New Way Nationals at January 28th?
Yeah, but that's all gonna be right hand.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to mention that I'm gonna be pulling there as well. So
Gotcha.
I look forward to see you there in AC, and good luck at the Olympia.
I might. It depends on how how I feel. My left. I'm gonna do some after pulling at Olympia. See if it feels healthy and strong. I might go both arms. At the New Way tournament. We'll see.
Nice.
That part by ear, but I when it comes to how I feel from tournament to tournament, this next year I am going to be taking it easier, because I am ramping up the caliber of tournament that I'm doing. So it's going to be much more intense and much more taxing on my body. So I'm going to probably take February off, unless Manolo flies me down to Mexico to help him represent Puerto Rico.
Dude, I'm working on that. I'm working on Emiliano, the guy, the Mexican guy is watching us right now. He's asking me about it, and I've been retired from arm wrestling for more than 15 years. I haven't competed in a long time, and I don't have anyone to practice with me. I work out alone with what I have in the gym and in my house.
I'll pull you any day, brother. Fly me down. Fly me down. I'll give you some work. I'll just need about 4 or 5 resistance bands to give you any work.
But the thing is, I'm going to Mexico for the North American WAF Championship. It's going to be the first WAF North American Championship that's going to be in history. It's going to be in Mexico. And I had the blessing that the vice president of the WAF in North America, Simon Berriachoa, texted me. And I was like, is this really Simon Berriachoa? He was like, yes, this is I've been following this guy since I was a kid. Come on. I remember videos of him weighing 150 pounds, beating guys 300 pounds. No, Simon is a legend. He's out there. He's in elite. And he told me that someone told him that if he wanted to speak to the guy to speak about arm wrestling in Puerto Rico was me. And he contacted me, and we had a conversation, and we had the conversation about the future of arm wrestling, that may probably be in the Olympics and all that. And they wanted every possible nation to be part of the WAF, so has many nations that they can participate in these Olympic cycles, right? And he introduced me to the other presidents of the WAF in Latin America and North America, Canada, and all that. And I'm trying to get to Mexico. But I don't want to go alone. Like, I want to go with young kids. I don't have any expectation about winning or nothing. My main goal is to get there and to get some of my guys there, 1, 2, 3, just to get in the WAF and start, participating in international events that Puerto Rico has never been part of. And a couple of guys from here told me that they were interested, and if the guys that say they wanted to go, it would be like me and 3 other guys from Puerto Rico, and Arturo from Las Vegas told me that he wanted to go, that he could tell me in January that if he could go or not. But if he goes and the other guys go, it would be like 5 or 6 guys. And like I said, I don't have any expectation. I know I'm strong. I know the world champion is going to be there, Cody Merritt. And that people would be scared, oh, Cody's going to be there. Oh, shit. People
thought he was going to be in Florida State. He was there before in 2020 last year, but he didn't show up this year. But people were scared that he possibly might be in the building.
Well, to me, I'm afraid of no man. And I in my time, I've wrestled big guys. What?
I said no tengo miedo. Oh, that reminds me.
Well, I'm not afraid of no one. And when I read that Simon sent to the chat the guys that were going, that Jason Hale, the Hellraiser was going, and other guys, I think that Tim Talmadge was going, and they said Cody Merritt was in the division. I was like, well, it's not the same thing losing to the guy that lives down the street that losing to the world champion,
It's a good loss. Good loss.
So I'm going to Mexico to lose to the world champion. That's my goal,
Right. Beautiful goal. Hey, just to grip up with him and have that video. That's gold. That's solid.
Yeah.
Right there, baby.
I mean, I'll give it a go. I'm training hard. Like I'm hurting all over and stuff. And I'm having some health issues right now, but I'm training and I'm going all in. Like I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give it a go. Fuck it.
Nice, brother. Push it. Get
die.
it, baby. Get it. I love it. I love supporting all my brothers who want to pull in the sport. Dan, I got to hop off in a minute, guys. So I just wanted to say a couple things before I get out of here. Okay. I just want to say thanks, Manolo, again for having me on. I appreciate it.
What about the song?
What's the? Oh, you gonna play my spot before I head out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You said you have a song. You wrote a song about Muso TV. Where is it?
I thought I'd send it to you. You want me to play it?
Oh yeah, I'll play it. I thought you were gonna play it.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna play the video.
Oh no, I thought you were gonna sing it live
rendition.
Oh no, see, I wasn't ready for that. I'm not. My studio is upstairs. We'll have to do that another. We'll have to do that another time.
I'll just upload the video when we're done.
Yeah, after we're gonna, sure, I appreciate it. But I just wanted to write that for you just to show you of my appreciation for everything that you have done. So thank you
No,
again.
dude. No, I thank you. You helped me out. Like people don't understand. I do this and I do this because I love it. But I got a lot of people working against me, and you helped me out in a time of dire need because I know what was going to be happening, and God put you on front of me, and I asked, and you said yes. Like yeah, I thank you. Like I'm honored. I'm blessed to have met
Gracias
you.
a Dios.
You know.
Tú tienes mi corazón,
Yeah.
hermano. Su mi hermano. Hey, but I thank you so much. I appreciate it. I look forward to, maybe coming on again in the future. Dan, good luck this weekend
Sure.
at the Olympia. I know you're going to smash it. The passion and dedication that you have towards the sport is inspiring. It inspires new guys like me. And I want to thank you for that, for setting the bar high. Pat, Performance Enhancing Pancakes. It was a pleasure sharing a microphone with your beautiful silken voice. I'll hit you up on the Instagram if I know you're on there. But I post everything. I post arm wrestling content daily. My Instagram is Troy_BounceFit. So if you guys can hit me up on there, I'd appreciate it. And I just thank you guys so much for having me on. And this has been a wonderful experience. And may we grow this brotherhood of arm wrestling worldwide.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Thank you, Troy.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
Yeah,
man.
Cool, dude.
That's one cool dude, man.
You what?
He's one cool dude, man. I got to watch him compete, and
he speaks so well. I like the way he talks. He expressed himself so well,
Absolutely, he's really quick with it. He's like you, Pep, man. I'm slow. I'm freaking I feel like a dinosaur when I sit in these chats with you guys because you guys are so quick-witted, and I'm like on the last subject, and you're coming up with like 5-10 new subjects to come up with.
Well, that's all that I do is try to cheese everyone out of more views for money. So I've just developed this skill,
At least he's honest about it.
In all honesty, though, that's a really good skill to have, especially in what you're doing, bro.
Yeah,
dude,
like the reviews. I like to do some reviews because I know the people in Latin America, they don't speak English, and they want me to do it in Spanish, and I do it I do it like fairly quick, but I don't know how do you do it, dude? So quick. How do you do it? You got people working for you?
I've stolen Ryan Bowen's time machine, and so I actually just make it beforehand, But no, I've done it enough.
I thought of it the other day. I was like, did this guy? Did Pep has this all set up before he puts it on? He just okay. I think this guy's gonna win. I'm gonna make the video, and when he wins, I'm gonna upload it.
Yeah, dude.
You got I thought you had a time machine.
I thought about doing that for Devin versus Prudnick. I'm like, I'm just gonna make like 4 videos, and whatever happens, I'll just unprivate the video, and then everyone will just be astonished. But no, I didn't end up doing that. I'll probably do that at some point. But yeah, I just have everything all set up, and I've probably blown too much money on like equipment that allows me to do everything live. I don't have to do that much like post editing stuff. So that's like all of the the audio stuff I have, it's all I used to do all of that in like EQ that and everything after the fact, and now I have this set up to where it's all just live. And so, but yeah, it's probably a terrible investment that's never going to return itself. But I'm just
I
picky,
do everything on my phone.
Yeah. Hey, I'm telling you,
everything I do it on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't really need anything. Like the content is what matters, right? So, and
what people are looking for.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what you need to do. Just get yourself a time machine.
I got an Samsung S22 Ultra, and I do everything on that phone.
Yeah, that phone's probably it's probably more powerful than my computer is. So,
it's and I try to This Pulseo TV thing has evolved so much. I don't even know how to explain it anymore. I wanted to do something, and people pushed me towards something else, and now I'm here and I can quit.
Yeah. Hey, well, I love it. I love what you do, man.
Now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's addicting, right?
So, Pep, do you have a pulse on anybody that you might know that's going to be in the 165 and under class?
Oh, at the Olympia?
Yeah.
You know what? I have. I don't. Is Kevin a 150? Kevin Palco, is he a 154 guy or 165?
Well,
does he do both?
It's 165 and under, so he would fit.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah. Kevin, I mean, yeah, he looks. Okay. Yeah. There's another guy, and I can't remember what his last name is. His first name is Sam. But he looks super skinny, but he's like freakishly strong out of nowhere. Okay. And he pulled Kevin Palco, and they had a war for probably like a minute long. He was trying to top roll, and Kevin ended up getting him inside, and he was able to beat him. But I think he's very close
when
to.
Was this?
Oh man, dude, my calendar. Well, you know, my calendar and like time in my mind is so skewed. I think it was like 6 months ago, but it may have been like 2012. So let me see. I'm looking for it.
But this other guy, Hinoski, is his thing? He's not the 165?
Yeah, I think he's either 154 or 165.
Hanowski is usually 154. Palco's 154. So if they end up, I know Hanowski's not going to be there.
But I don't think either of them are going to the Olympia then.
No, I don't know about Palco. I know Hanowski is definitely not because I've spoken with him. I've actually competed against Hanowski, and I've done fairly well against him. He just has a little more experience. And I didn't know what to do with the pressures he was applying at the time. I now have trained up since then. And that level of speed, I feel like I've mastered his speed. So at some point, I will be taking on Hanowski again. Once I take over Olympia, he's my next stop.
Yeah. Well, if they're not going,
I don't think Kevin is going to go to the Olympia and Hinoski because they have a super match soon.
No.
Oh yeah. Okay. And then the only other guy, Joel Cagle. I don't know if he's going.
He's not going.
He's not going.
Out to him.
Okay.
The only person that I know is Caleb Armbender.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's going to be going, and I think Benji Mack is. Those are the only two that I have.
Ooh.
A pulse on, but that's about it.
I love Benji. You know, I watch him streaming like Call of Duty and stuff. So, but I don't think I've ever watched him arm wrestle. So I have no idea how good he is.
Caleb he's got this crazy height. He's tall, he's lanky, and he's fast. So
yeah,
and it's crazy. He's got both inside and outside game, so he's fairly versatile.
Yeah.
Definitely got my work cut out with him.
Well, I might just cut all the way down from 420 pounds. I'll just do a little water cut, and then I'll go pull with you guys.
Water cut.
Yeah, it's easy. The thing is,
cut, same difference.
Yeah, the thing is, all of my mass is only in my thumb pad. Nowhere else. That's the only thing I've ever done is those little thumb curl things.
There you go.
So
I mean, that's what you need for thumb wars, man.
Yeah, nothing else mattered. Well, yeah, nothing else matters. Like you try to grip up with me, and you just can't.
Yeah, thumb war. I mean, you've won the match in the thumb war.
Yeah, and you try to grip up, and you can't, so you just foul out.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Speaking of
dude, I forgot. I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you, Pep. You saw the after pulling between Pablo and Corey?
Yeah.
I sent you the link.
Yeah, I was gonna make a video about that, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like I do enough trolling, and people get mad at me when I, speculate about after pulling and all that. So I was like, yeah, I'll just not do it. But yeah, that was. Yeah, I think I commented on Michael Todd's video. Yeah, I commented on Michael Todd's video that Corey beat Cody, but then Pablo beat Corey, and Lachlan beat Pablo. So Lachlan is #1 in North America. Is how that works. And Bowen can beat Lachlan. So Bowen once again is #1 in North America.
But left hand?
Oh yeah, left hand too.
Left
Yeah.
bowling is number one in North America.
Well, yeah, just don't question it. It's just
But you know what they say about gingers, right? They don't have a soul.
I've heard that. I read something about them like having higher pain tolerance as well. So I don't know.
They're gonna kick me out of YouTube for saying that.
Yeah.
Oh man, we can't have that. So I'm looking it up.
Dude,
I'm looking it up on Google.
I had a short. I made a short about the Keystone Travis Bacon incident.
Oh
And
yeah.
I remember I did that video because Mike Aiello asked me to.
Oh yeah, that's
He
awesome.
like said like he asked me about it, and I told him, you want me to make a clip about it? He said, yeah, do it. And I did it, and I only sent it to him. I didn't share it, I didn't upload it, but
Yeah.
then people started asking about it, and I uploaded to YouTube, right? And at the beginning it wasn't getting any hits, but recently it was getting 2,300 views an hour.
Wow, that's awesome, dude. That's good.
And
Yeah.
YouTube took it down.
Oh. What? Why did they take it down?
Because they put it like an age restriction.
Oh man. I've gotten
And I
those
was like,
before.
I've gotten those before, but I always appeal it and won, and they put it back, and they took the age restriction away. But when I did the appeal, I told them this is two grown men arguing. There's no violence.
Right,
They weren't
right.
fighting. It was just arguing.
Yeah.
But the thing is Travis dropped the F-bomb, and that's the subject nobody can talk about.
Nope.
And dude,
okay.
Elephant in the middle of the ring.
It went from 2,300 views an hour to 0.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. Good old Travis. Yeah. Oh man. Well, I'm sorry that got taken down. Those
so
are
hard.
good. Yeah. Well, just to let you know.
I remember. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was gonna say, I'm on Reddit, and according to Reddit, there's a difference between gingers and redheads, and they're saying that redheads do have a soul, but gingers do not. So, I thought that was really important.
That's a crucial piece of information.
Yeah,
It is. Yeah.
But wait a minute. What's the difference between gingers and redheads?
I don't know. I tried to find it, and the user left, so he had all the answers, but he's gone now. So
How dare you.
it'll be a
Maybe it's the
mystery.
freckles.
Yeah. Well, I think that Ryan Bowen is definitely a ginger, but I don't
he's
know.
a ginger, like South Park ginger.
Yeah, I don't know what he is though. So
Who was behind the Delusion and Ryan videos on YouTube?
well,
Who's behind that? I haven't watched one.
oh really?
I haven't watched anyone.
Oh man.
I gotta look them up and watch them. But who's behind that?
Get yourself some popcorn and go binge watch all of those. Those are so funny, man. Yeah. I think that Ryan does a lot of that stuff on purpose, and he knows that it'll just get him exposure. But yeah, that is
Do you
that's
think he
Devin's.
himself?
No, that's Devin's other kid. So that's my brother, right? So I run this channel. He runs the Delusional Ryan Bowen. We're both locked up in Devin's basement, so I get to see those being made.
So how many unnamed children does Devin have?
Well, more than 2.
Oh dear God.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's like I went on I go on whatever live stream about arm wrestling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I start reading the comments, and that's Devin's forearm, Devin's finger, Devin's nail, Devin's
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, people come up with something new.
Yeah,
Like
it's
every
funny,
body
man.
part of Devin is on YouTube trolling.
Yeah, it is. It'll be like his hand, his forearm, his bicep. It'll be like all of them. They're like a little group of a little family or something. But yeah, I love it. I think it's.
I think Devin knows all those guys, and they're friends or something. No, they're the hard hookers or something.
I think so, because I think I remember Devin's forum telling me that he knows Devin, so at least him, I'm pretty sure.
There's a secret society within the niche community.
Yeah.
Control everything.
Dude, and I mean, I love Devin. I do not agree with everything he says, but I love him. I love him, and I've seen so many bad comments on his videos. Like I saw one the other day of a guy wishing his death.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck is that all about? For arm wrestling? What the fuck?
Because people have too much time on their hands. That's all. You have people who have too much time on their hands.
He gets a lot of hate.
Like Pep, use it to give the masses arm wrestling. And beautifully done so, in my opinion. Or they just sit there and they want to, pour volatility and, negativity into the world.
Yeah, I feel like some people are just trolling to such a high degree. And so my deepest fear is to be trolled without knowing it, because that's the highest level. So I always try to troll back, even if it's,
my
risking.
brother is very
even
good.
If you don't even know it.
My brother is very good at that.
Yeah, but
I mean, I troll, like I leave comments on Pep's videos, but Pep knows I'm trolling,
Yeah.
Like the comment about the Michael Tots come back.
Yeah.
Back. Right.
Exactly.
I'm trolling,
Mm-hmm.
But my brother starts talking to me, saying some stuff, and then he said, "I'm joking." I'm like,
I stopped trolling a long
I thought you were serious.
Actually. I was actually a part of a big elite troll group. I don't know. Pep, are you familiar with Pastafarians?
I don't think so.
So, Pastafarians is a group of people.
Oh wait, no, I do. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Somebody had like a shirt that I saw. Yeah.
Yep, with a colander on the head and
yeah, dude.
WSM, World Spaghetti Monster,
Yeah, I looked it up on Reddit as well. So
I was actually one of the admins of one of the Pastafarian groups that was a troll group, and ultimately that's all we just did with each other was just troll the fuck out of each other.
That is awesome.
Reason, other than we were bored. And then I had and then I stopped. I was like, this doesn't do it anymore. I'm done.
That is so funny. I heard about that in a totally unrelated circle. So you've reached a lot of people through that. That's awesome.
It was an interesting time of my life. Definitely put me in the crosshairs of things that I didn't want to be into.
Yeah.
The internet is a very dark and scary place, and there's some rocks that they're better left unturned.
Yeah. I wonder if sometimes I take a little bit too far, because I feel like it's so obvious that I'm trolling, and I just try to make it as obvious as possible. But then I'll have like 30% dislikes on some videos, and people just confused and like mad at me. And I'm like, maybe
they don't appreciate that level of humor.
Yeah, right.
That's not your target audience at that point either.
I guess so. Yeah, I wonder sometimes if I need to like be just 1% more mature and realize that I'm talking to a lot of people. But I always go back to I still consider myself part of the troll army, and I always will be. So
wait, do you have memberships on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I think I do.
You should set it up for like the troll army. If the people want the good juicy content stuff, you have to pay to get that shit.
That's true.
Exactly.
See, the thing is though, the funniest part of those videos is the people roasting the other people who don't know that it's fake.
Fair enough.
And that's the funniest part.
You're absolutely right. It's that part. So maybe I don't know.
Like I'm not gonna stop. I feel a slight degree of remorse, but I'll keep doing it forever. I mean,
well, you can feel the lesser remorse though for the members only segment.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You can kind of go a little more ham if you want.
Yeah, because they're paying me to be a terrible person. So it's
I mean, there's restaurants that you pay for them to be asshole to you.
That's true.
So why can't you market something like that as
well? Yeah, if I'm going to put that much effort into something, it shouldn't be for free.
Pay me to be an asshole to your face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's probably really what I was born to do, honestly. So.
Hey,
Listen,
Pat,
life's too short.
does
You gotta laugh.
Reddit still have the list of arm wrestling influencers up?
I'm sorry, you cut out for a second there. I didn't get. What were you saying?
They and on Reddit, someone made a list of the top 100 or something arm wrestling influencers,
Oh, okay.
and I don't go on Reddit that much. Did he updated it?
I have no idea. You know, I don't actually go on Reddit that much unless it's a really weird thing like Pastafarians, and then Reddit is the only place you go. So, okay, I think I found the thread here. Let's see. He updated it 3 months
this
ago.
guy is quick. Yeah, but you were there. You were there on that list.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I'm like,
Oh, yeah, he's got
57.
Devin's
Or something
forum.
It was like 57.
57. Oh, yeah, he's got you on here as well.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm on here.
and you were there too. Yeah,
I think maybe I trolled too hard and he took me off of here.
dude, you were there. I remember the list. You were there.
Yeah, I see it. I'm not seeing myself on here though. Maybe he.
Really?
Yeah, but I see you're 57 right now.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, dude. Yeah, Pradeep's on
But
here.
the thing that bothered me is like Devin's forum is way higher than Devin's forum doesn't have any content.
Well, yeah, I think
What was that all about?
so. I think that what Devin's forearm is trying to do is basically create like a live stream that's constantly going so that people can just go and talk about arm wrestling. So he's not really trying to like make a ton of videos, but it's kind of a different angle at it, I
Do
think.
you remember the chat rooms from AOL Instant Messenger? He's created that.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's what he created for us. He brought that back for us.
Yeah. And I think that's a great, like, that's really, yeah, like that's kind of what I try to do. I just want something up every single day on YouTube so people can just go talk about arm wrestling. But I think Devin's forum's taken it even to a further degree where it's like just constant and it's a lot more fun too if people are live. Sorry, what?
What does he do on his channel? Because when you go in, there's nothing.
Yeah. So he just has like live stream going a lot of the time. It's not all the time. And you know what? He hasn't been as active lately. But back when he would just have live streams going all the time. Like if no one else was live streaming.
You ever hear, Manolo, of a group of people called the Usual Suspects?
Yes.
So in the arm wrestling community, the Usual Suspects are these people who are on the YouTube channels that are supporting YouTube channels left and right. And pretty much Devin's forum is almost like the call to arms. He's like the beacon of hope for all the Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
And he kind of gives people a little bit of things.
Pep
is in the
when
same
when he comments, there's this he's like an admin in every chat of every live stream.
Exactly. He's like an ambassador for the sport almost, if you may. Much like Pep is, where the content they provide. So Pep gives us short little clips of things that are great arm wrestling content that we can quickly see. We don't have to watch a whole YouTube interview channel type of deal to see this one little tidbit that's really awesome to see. So thank you for that, Pep. Whereas Devin's Forum, what he does is he creates a platform where we can all communicate with each other. And the Usual Suspects can kind of say, hey, did you guys see that? Oh, that's awesome. Or, make sure you're on this person's live on this one, So it gives another platform of communication where not everyone has Facebook, not everyone has Instagram or Twitter or TikTok or whatever it is these people have these days. But a lot of people have access to YouTube. And you don't need a special account to have access to YouTube, so you can still see it. And if you set up your account to be viewable by everybody, then for the live chat, then everybody gets to see it. And it kind of creates a nice it helps facilitate the further camaraderie that we're all trying to gain in the sport. At least that's my understanding, Pat.
Yeah, I would say that's exactly correct. And I've just gone in there and there would be like 10 people in his live chat sometime, and I'll just say, hey, do you guys want to talk about this upcoming match?
So he has this live chat open all day, every day?
You know, he hasn't had it open lately, and I don't know if I don't know exactly what's going on. He used to have it open a lot more often, but it says he hasn't streamed for 9 days. So he may just be a little bit busy with other stuff right now. I'm not sure, but it would be cool to have it going all the time. But I don't know that he has enough people yet to where there would always be somebody there. I think that's kind of the fun of it, is you can go chat with people live.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you know, at some point, he might just leave it running all the time.
There was a time when I think we had like 15 people in there, and it was right when he got monetized, and like he got super chats galore.
Yeah.
Because it was around the time that he was hyping up the Devin Levon match, I believe.
Yeah.
That's when he got monetized.
Yeah, and you know what else he does is he's like a moderator in everyone's stream, and he links everything, and he just helps people out a lot too. So
he does.
Yeah. Oh, and I think he has like a Discord thing as well. Yeah, he's everywhere.
Yeah, no, and you know,
that's why he got my attention, because you go into every live stream and he's there as a moderator.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. Yeah, he's just everywhere, omnipresent.
But to me, it has to be someone that everyone knows.
Yeah, you know, he's Devin's other kid. His third kid.
Most of them, maybe, yeah. Definitely, yeah.
You know, Devin's house has got to have a very large basement, or the living conditions.
It has a very large. If you have followed arm wrestling long enough, you know that sometime back, Devin was remodeling his house, and everything on his house got moved to the basement. So he has a very big basement.
Yeah. I'll tell you, it's big enough to have the Pastafarians cult meetings down here. So that's how big it is. Well, we'll just leave it at that.
Oh, God. We'll leave it at that. You know, it puts a lotion on the skin or gets the hose again?
It do what?
It puts a lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again?
Oh, yeah, you know. Yeah, yeah, I'm going to have to head out. No.
That's a perfect note to end this
yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, we could just loop that.
It's getting late. It's getting late. I would like to thank Dan and wish him luck this weekend, and send me every video you have and pictures with you and Arturo on Vegas, please. And Pep, man. I thank you very much for everything you do for the sport, for each one of us, and I thank you for being here with us tonight. And I hope that somewhere in the future we can do this again when John and Devin have their 600 rematch or something.
Oh yeah.
And we could, you know, have a good conversation about arm wrestling like we did tonight. You know, it's been fun. It's been a lot. We have lost a lot tonight.
Oh yeah.
It's been great.
Yeah, thank you so much, buddy, for having me on. I really appreciate it. Dan, good luck at the Olympia. And hey, I'm down to come on here anytime. Like just send me a message. I love talking about arm wrestling, so I'll probably be a little bit late and have to get food out of the oven. But
work for it.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to go live every week, you know. And this was gonna be the last live of this live stream of this year. But then Ending messaged me and told me that he was going to give me an hour next week.
Oh yeah, that's cool, man.
So Ending's live stream is going to be the last one of the year, and next year I'm going to try to do the 52 live streams each week. The 52 years of the year. I'm going to try. I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
And I'm going to message you.
Oh yeah.
So we could come on and discuss everything.
Yeah. It gets lonely down here in Devin's basement, so just anytime.
Yeah, I know. And cold. It has to be cold right now.
It's Canada too, man.
Yeah, it's cold.
Canadian basement's gotta suck.
Yeah. All right. Hey, well, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate both you guys.
Appreciate sharing some time with you, Pep.
Thank you, thank you,
You too, man.
and have a good one. We love you, Pep. I love you, Dan. Very good luck. I'm gonna send you all my strength and spirit and good vibes, so you do well this weekend. And maybe Pep will do a video on my videos of your performance this weekend, right?
Hey, yeah, we'll see what happens if I can milk some views out of it somehow.
I think the UAL Facebook page is going to be what's it called? Posting live. So if
yeah,
I'll make sure I put the links in with the usuals.
Yeah, I'll just put Devin Larratt somewhere in the title, and then it'll get 1 million views. That's how it works.
He's actually, I think he's going to be there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think he's going to be there, and
dude, I think I don't think so, because
oh no,
I really don't think so. I don't know. I didn't ask him, but I get the vibe that he's not gonna travel these days. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, as soon as he found out Dan was going, he didn't want any of that. So
yeah.
After our brief encounter in Jersey, he's like, I don't want any of that smoke.
Yeah, he doesn't want his bicep to tear again. So
But Dan, if he shows up, you go to Devin and say, I'm Puerto Rican too, and you tell him to say hi to Full Sail TV and me.
Of course.
You ask him that.
Believe it.
yeah.
Well, on that note, have a good night, and subscribe to Performance Enhancing Pancakes, and subscribe to Nightmare's channel, and keep supporting this sport and whatever we are doing.
Yeah. Hey, I love everything you do, buddy. Thank you, man.
Keep up the good work, Pep.
You too.